everybody, and welcome to the PlayStation Tournament's Mortal Kombat 11 Fight Nights. It is Friday in California, and shoot, do we have some good matches for you. Isn't that right, Ketchup?
You can say that again, mate. But we had a really good show with Europe earlier on today. It was, as I said during the show, and I'll say it again, a wonderful demonstration of kind of what European Mortal Kombat has to offer. Man of the day, though, has to be Makaran. That Scarlet display was as good as we expected, if not better. We had that lovely blend of old and new, as we always do. With the Fight Night shows, at the very least, and kind of think again we have maybe a little bit of that here today for North America. Maybe not as much, but still some players that you might not have seen around as much. Definitely players that you've seen time and time again. So We promise a lot of character variety, it seems to be. I think we're going to get some different picks than what we had in Europe. I've got to be honest, I'm really eyeing up that first round between Jinks and Jettering, two players that are extremely high-level, prominent in the online tournament world, and I think it's a bit of a treat for it to be first round of upper bracket.
Yeah, there are quite a few players, like you were saying, that are really strong players here. I mean, like you said, Jinks and Jettering, just to talk about the one that you were literally just talking about. I'm a huge fan of Jettering's Joker, but I really haven't had that many chances to commentate their matches, which is really strange. Like one time or two times on the PlayStation tournaments, and then pretty much nothing past that. So I'm really excited to see it again. But then we've got some other players that we haven't seen very much at all, which is something that we got to see a really nice surprise from in the last bracket, in the EU bracket. But of course, everybody here is playing for that money, where first place is going to be at $200, second with $100, third through fourth $50, and then everybody else with that $25 just for showing up. And of course, this is from a bracket that already existed, so you know, they're kind of just playing for extra fame and extra practice on top of everything else. But we did have it a little bit earlier. Well, we had a slightly different bracket earlier, I should say, because as most Mortal Kombat 11 players are used to, of course, it is 3 out of 5. But today we are actually going to be running this entire bracket up to the final 3 matches as 2 out of 3, which I feel like, you tell me if you agree with this, I feel like it really was a very different pacing and a different feel with like how much people got to adapt and how quickly they had to adapt.
I think adapt is the magic word there, Chef, because in a lot of times we see 3 out of 5. Reverse sweeps can happen a lot more regular than you might expect, and that just comes down to those first 2 games that you lose. Maybe near the closing moments of that second match that you've lost, it's enough information to kind of work with. That room for adaptability is just cut completely short. Now, obviously there's different discussions either way for what people prefer, what people like, yada, yada, yada. But the reality is, it just gives players now, they've got to be real quick fire with how they adapt to matchups. And we've seen players do it. Makaran did that very thing, as did Mirko, so no doubt we'll see it today. As you can just see appeared on the bottom of the screen, you can go to compete.playstation.com to get involved in these PlayStation tournaments yourselves. It's not just Mortal Kombat 11 that's covered here. We have other games as well. No doubt at the end of the day we'll be showing the schedule for the upcoming games and stuff like that, and also exclusive content. So just go to the site, check it out, you'll have a good time. Now, Chef, our first matchup between Too Easy and Laenda. Too Easy we haven't seen for a while, but he's been a prominent member of the scene for some time, and you always know he's going to bring that high level.
Yeah. Actually, I do believe, I mean, like you said, we haven't actually seen Too Easy for a little bit, but I do believe that not on broadcast, Too Easy actually won the bracket that these players have all been invited from. So Too Easy showed off the Shiva. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen Shiva in quite a while, but Too Easy known for playing a bunch of different characters, right? I mean, has a strong Sub-Zero, has a Cetrion. Both of those are probably the ones that we're really looking to see today in the bracket. But of course, it really all depends on the opponent. A player who's played for a long time and always counterpicked opponents. But on the other side, Cetrion is also a very common factor here from Laenda, where we could potentially see, I mean, this is a character that is very, very strong, right? Most people consider one of the best in the game, but we actually haven't seen all that much recently, which is kind of strange. So I think the potential for a mirror is actually there, which I feel like we haven't seen, especially on PlayStation tournaments, for a while.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because a Cetrion mirror would make a lot of sense. Of all the top-tier mirror matches that take place, I actually think that Cetrion could be one of, if not the most common. She's quite good at fighting herself, you know, go figure, as you would definitely expect here. But at the same time, Sub-Zero doesn't seem to do too horrendously against Cetrion. So there's this idea of, are we going to go for a comfort pick here? Is Sub-Zero going to have maybe a bit of an edge in this matchup? I guess it really depends, but Laenda almost completely sure to go Cetrion, you would think. But when the chips are down, sometimes people try maybe a little bit more creative pick. Cetrion, as expected. Who's it going to be for Too Easy, Chef?
I really like the Sub-Zero. I mean, I personally think that Sub-Zero has... I mean, nobody likes fighting Cetrion, right? But I think Sub-Zero has a really good time against Cetrion, all things considered. You get one good, like, projectile trade with an ice ball or one good slide in, and suddenly the mix just is everything. Especially with Cetrion having less than the average amount of health, it means that all of your mix essentially does more damage, and you're just that much closer to just mixing to death instantly. So, I mean, overall, I like to say that I don't think Sub-Zero is a bad pick. I think Sub-Zero might be actually the best pick for a first-round pick in general, in the entire game. Because there's no matchup that you can't be like, okay, I've adapted, and then I've mixed you up, and then you've died, right? There's no, like, truly terrible matchups for Sub-Zero. So I like this pick, and honestly, this is, I would say, the character that overall Too Easy has used more, just because, I mean, Cetrion wasn't the same at the start.
It just gives a really nice amount of utility for a matchup like this. The sheer existence of the slide is good because certain ranged options that maybe some people might feel a bit more confident of using a little bit, Sub-Zero can at least challenge it. The threat of the slide can make a big deal too. As you can see now, immediately ready for that low poke and that back three with punish to start us off strong. So Too Easy, I mean, he's off to a good start here.
Yeah, it's, I mean, decided to build the Amp Slide Crushing Blow, which is always a big decision, right? Do you want to keep that Oki? Do you want to build the Crushing Blow? Of course, the Crushing Blow is important, but, you know, having to go back to neutral, you can see how much that can actually hurt you, even if you are Sub-Zero. Oh, that was a really good anti-air, too. Too Easy now no longer really has too much meter and has to deal with a lot of chip.
Preemptively throwing out that ice ball, I mean, just give himself some momentum to work with. We do know that Sub-Zero, I mean, one of the more famous robbery characters, that's for sure, especially with that fatal blow. No confirm, actually, from that 1-1. And actually, no confirm might come back to haunt them. One more mix, actually make that one more as the throw's been layered on top. Oh, that could have been it!
Just needs a little bit of chip. Oh my gosh, so much patience. Maybe too much patience. Nah, there we go. Perfect amount of patience. I lied. That was a great choice. And yeah, that's such a hard angle to cover. Realistically, I don't think there was too many options. I didn't see exactly what variation Too Easy is playing, but he likes to play the Ice Axe variation, so that could have been a counter to that, but didn't make that read.
It was Deep Freeze and Creeping Ice this time round. Oh, teleporting right into the ice ball. That definitely wasn't part of the plan. Here comes the push in, the pressure, the preemptive. Oh, that's the Too Easy I remember. Whiffing buttons and then doing flawless block during those minus frames. We do it. More pressure in the corner. Oh, my lord. Down 4 upon down 4, and then we chucking overhead on the top. Too Easy. The important thing is screen space here. The only question is, does Laenda go in with a far teleport? Yeah, there it is. Covering the bank. I like that. You know, just cover the base. Make sure that you whiff, cover yourself, and then go for a teleport just in case Too Easy pushes in. The payoff is that it's cost 2 bars of the meter. However, the overhead comes out. Oh, a combo drop from Too Easy. That is unfortunate. That was the opening he was looking for. No challenge on the neutral jump. Sub-Zero's jump-ins, notoriously hard to challenge, and that counter hit's going to be absolutely fantastic. Interruption, and another overhead. Almost a complete 100% hit rate on that forward 2 so far, and there's a low. That was no mix-up. That was a good old-fashioned whiff punish. Slide as well, building up that KB, but it's so late! We might not need it, and that's definitely going to be game 1. We take those, Chef.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but I mean, honestly, that was exactly realistically what you want to try and do, right? I mean, just kept the pressure on, and I mean, also, of course, crushing blow management is just so huge with Sub-Zero, so you want to be sure to save those for all those moments where you really get to, like it's almost like burst damage, right? Like, you don't want to just, like, do a solid amount of damage, then have to get back to neutral, then have to try to get back in again. You want to just save it all for, like, one big chunk, which is realistically what we saw there. And like I said, I really like the Sub-Zero as a pick against Cetrion. Also, as a Cetrion player himself, of course, Too Easy is going to have a lot of knowledge on how to counter things and what's annoying when you're fighting against Sub-Zero, so can kind of use that to his own advantage. But whoa, the Fujin, a different type of wind god.
Yeah, Laenda has mentioned in the player survey, every player has a chance to sort of give us some information before the top 8 begins. Really helpful for players that might be a bit newer. Fujin was listed as the secondary, so I guess it goes without saying. We're having a look at the side character here. Now, a reason for that could be just mobility, perhaps. I know that there was a lot of matchup knowledge displayed. You just mentioned it there, but there were a couple of things. You know, Too Easy going for like a down 1 interrupt, for example, on certain strings before the wind even came out. I think being a Cetrion player really gave him that edge here. However, Fujin, we're talking about top tier characters. This character is often put in a top 5 as well for a lot of players, and we'll see if it works out for him. It's mobility. Question is, it's all about the variation. Oh! But we get hit by slide. It's not a good start.
Yeah, the thing about Fujin, though, is it's a really tough character to secondary, right? Because it is one of the most technical characters in the game by kind of a lot, and you really can't drop anything where you can very easily get punished. And on the other side, you know, Sub-Zero is just Sub-Zero, so you have a lot of pressure on you, too. We haven't really seen anything started from the Fujin yet, and it is going to take a little bit of time to kind of readjust from the usual mindset. But okay, immediately, oh, see, that's a thing right there, was that could have been a lot more damage. It might have actually been an issue of meter, might have needed to do some sort of different follow-up, but overall, I mean, that just didn't even hurt Too Easy much at all.
Definitely not. I think Laenda was expecting the breakaway. That's why the Skywalk went just completely full screen to escape the corner as much as possible. Finally, a block on the overhead, but with a single creeping ice that wasn't amplified, it's going to give even more pressure still. Now, Too Easy in a split second, really, is currently on match point.
Yeah, very quickly. And that's another issue with trying to counterpick too much in 2 out of 3s. You don't have that other chance to be like, okay, well, maybe that didn't work. Let me switch back, right? You have to be very confident in your picks. And right now...
Again!
Oh, my God.
That's a KB, surely.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. You gotta go for it, even just for style points, right? If you're Floss Block punishing a down 1, you gotta go for the KB. It's a rule.
Every mix has been on point, and this is going to be unbreakable. Laenda can do nothing to challenge this, as now Too Easy swiftly and fiercely gets himself straight through to the next round of winners. Well done. That was just clearly a player that was prepared for the matchup, played it really well, and can't really be ignored. That Sub-Zero mix came in hot. You combine that mix with just solid fundamentals, lovely flawless blocks, perfect anti-airs. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the Szechuan wasn't doing that badly, right? The Szechuan won the first round, just didn't quite manage to pull off the second 2. But I do really think that unless you're really prepared to go Fujin for a tournament, it's very hard to switch to it as a counter pick because, like I said, it's just so technical and it plays a lot different than a lot of the other characters. You have to be really ready for all the different situations. And we really didn't get to see the Fujin do very much at all. And I mean, that is kind of like a natural thing. You tend to see that when Sub-Zero is playing just in general. But I would have liked to maybe see the Cetrion a little bit more. Just, you know, like try to adapt a little bit and not just go for the immediate counter pick. But, I mean, hey, these players know, all these players know their characters best, right? So maybe it's just something that just wasn't quite ready, or maybe it was just wrong guesses, which does tend to happen against Sub-Zero all the time. But Too Easy, looking very confident. Like I said, I believe won the bracket that seeded this top 8, so probably looking to win again.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw it. There is going to be some rather fierce competition as we'll be checking out the bracket after this. Beautiful flawless block on the up 2, something that Too Easy has just been so fantastic with, kind of since day 1, to be honest. But on the point of character changes, this is kind of what we discussed at the beginning of the stream. Is that having less games means that having that information of, do I change character? Do I go with a different matchup? You just don't have as much time to make an educated decision based on that. So I kind of feel like, you know, my gut tells me that Laenda lost that first game. There were a lot of matchup-specific interruptions, and every mix kind of went in the favor of Too Easy. That it must have just put the thought process of, right, if I've got 2 characters, I may as well go Fujin, because Fujin's got the mobility. A bit more damage, perhaps, on a regular basis, and your Cetrion needs those crushing blows to do a lot of damage outside of that. The 950 health certainly won't help, so must have just felt like a good idea at the time. But we'll now be jumping into our next match, Chef. Introduce it for us.
Yeah, we've got 2 players from LATAM, actually. That's one of my favorite parts about the PlayStation tournaments, is that we get to see a lot of LATAM players. So we've got Cenas, which I believe I'm pronouncing right, if I'm not, sorry, up against Akira, who is, you know, these are actually 2 players. One that we've never seen on the PlayStation tournaments, and then another one that we've seen, I don't know, I want to say like 100 times. Akira, we've seen just absolutely so many times, very familiar to us. But on the other side, Cenas is a player that I am familiar with, however, have not really had a chance to see like full matches from. So I'm very excited for this. Again, a young player coming out of Mexico who has already won multiple tournaments and playing that Kung Lao. You know, we saw the Kung Lao in the European bracket. Kung Lao can be very scary, but I gotta say, LATAM is just the strongest with Kung Lao. In my eyes, at this point in time, I feel like it's hard to argue. And on the other side, Akira, of course, playing that Cabal. Cabal, which we didn't get to see in Europe, but one that we see all the time nowadays.
Cabal has swiftly become one of the more popular characters in the game, and as the the community tier lists will always like somewhat evolve. There's always those hard established top tiers. I think especially with MK11, you know, I feel like the balance patches across the game never really shifted the balance of power for top tiers too much. They're always kind of nicely sitting in that top 5, like the Jokers, the Jackies, the Cetrions. Whereas Cabal is starting to creep into some top 5s, I'm starting to see. Now look, tier lists, I don't want to talk about it too much. It's always personal opinion. But when enough people have the same personal opinion based on tournament results, that's where it starts to be a little bit more of a talking point. As you mentioned, I mean, the Mexican scene in general just seems to have so much Kung Lao players that are all really, really strong. Importantly, though, a lot of young talent. It's kind of mad how long the NetherRealm tournament era has been taking place now, and we have these players that are having their breakout performances in the 5th game since 2011. I mean, that's rather mad to think about, but it excites me, right? It's like this is the new generation of competitive talent.
It's because they were like 6 years old when Mortal Kombat 9 came out. I gotta say it. I'm sorry.
Don't say it, man.
I'm sorry.
Don't say it.
And
we all know that, but you don't say it.
I know. We're all so
I turned 30
old.
this year. It wasn't good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Feel
That
great.
happened to me.
I feel great. I'm great. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, no. There's no better way to feel old than talking about MK9. But it is true. I always see, I'm sorry. I always love seeing the younger talent come out and show us new stuff, because those are really the players I think that like innovate things, because they don't have that 10 years of like knowledge in their head to like give them preconceived notions of stuff. They're just like, what if I did this? And then it works, and you're like, wow, okay. But here we go. And I didn't actually see what the variation was, but immediately landing the jump kick. Ooh, weird wake-up grab.
I think it's safe to bet what Akira is going to be going in with, more than likely the slight gas and the hook grab. It was the buzzsaw, the sort of classic buzzsaw and possessed hand from Elbow Cenas. Now in this situation now, going in with a little bit of that range. You know, one thing that Kung Lao's going to always have a little bit of trouble with. No confirm on the 1-1-1. That really hurts. But the hat, it's gone the wrong way, mate.
Yeah, hat's usually pretty smart, but sometimes it betrays you. Wow, that was a really large risk for how much of a life lead there was, and maybe that just does mean that you're allowed to take more risks. Maybe that's the thought that Akira has. But right now, no defensive bar. This is tough. You're pretty much chipped. Yeah, there needed to be something on wake up right there. Just blocking was a guaranteed death. I think that's that point where you mash or you jump or you do something.
The usefulness of that Cabal air mobility is really helping out versus the Buzzsaw at the moment. Every time that Buzzsaw's gone, look, as you can see, just ask and ye shall receive, I suppose. Completely making it with that flawless block up 3 was a fantastic read to make, and that's going to give pressure and momentum for Akira, who has his opponent in the corner. The restand as well.
Ooh.
Things are getting spicy.
Was that a stand switch? Did we just see the stand switch down 4? That was a weird little mix-up right there. I love stand switches. Oh, wow. That was almost like a punished possessed hat, but it's a good thing the second hit came out. And finally, Elbow Cenas is making a little bit more headway here. A lot of grabs, kind of classic Foxy style. One more grab? Oh, that would have been Foxy style for sure.
Instant jump back. We're just trying to get out of there. Press the off button. The forward 2, no one home. A lot of defense being shown by Elbow Cenas. And it makes sense, right? Because in this situation, Cabal would need to do significantly more throws to really make up for the damage that he was lacking there. So why get opened up? The opponent has Fatal Blow. They've got meter to do the damage. It's just not worth that risk. In this case, though, the Buzzsaw. 3 damage. Lovely conversion on that forward 1.
Ooh, that was good too. That wasn't a read, that was a reaction. That down 2 was so slow, and that's actually like the smarter thing to do, right? You just have to have good reactions, but I mean, that was a confirm, and look at that damage off into another opening, and oh, he's got it back. That one was a read though.
Wait a minute, and this is Air Dash Cabal. We don't even spend extra meter, we just take it for what it is, keep the meter for later. I think a really good choice. You could have spent both bars of meter there, but you're still going to have damage to do. May as well take... Only 56%.
Yeah,
oh,
no big deal.
the conversion!
That was nice. Okay. For sure, it seemed like Akira came out of the gates just like super speeding. I mean, it's pretty accurate, I guess, for Cabal. And Elbow Cenas had like a weird start, and it seemed like I was like, okay, I don't know how this player's gonna play, but they're like, okay, I got a handle on this, and that does tend to happen, right? I mean, especially the first thing that happens is suddenly air dash Cabal jump kicks at you and lands a bunch of combos. goes, and you're like, ugh. But that was a really good, quick adaptation. And it does need to be a quick adaptation, of course, with 2 out of 3. So we need to now see the adaptation from Akira this time, who I felt like kind of stepped on the gas there. Or sorry, not on the gas, on the brakes. Opposite. Needs to step on the gas because the really fast-paced play was working really well at the start of the set. And then suddenly it was like a little bit more patient and waited a little bit, and it just didn't work out.
A lot of the damage from Cenas just came from those lovely sort of like wayward pokes here and there and converting them into a lot more than most people would get. Little things like that forward one on its own, catching Akira trying to jump out, can still pick that up with another forward one into conversion. That was just I dare you to jump in.
Yeah. Like just showing exactly what you're expecting. I actually really want to see... Oh, wow. Never mind. Great conversion, actually. I mean, obviously the breakaway, but that was a really nice way to start the conversion. I want to
Still
see
a win.
Amp
Take away the meter.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And get damage. I want to see Amp hat and then just anti from behind the hat. Because for sure, yeah, he's going to jump over it, was what I was going to say. That time didn't get over it, but this is looking super dominant suddenly for Cenas.
I think you and Cenas have the same brain, it seems, right? As we're calling the defensive buzzsaws to read the jump. Like I said, ask and you shall receive. It's the exact same example. Now there's the double jump to try and escape the corner. However, on defense, Cenas has made the perfect call out every time. A neutral jump into more pressure, delayed forward one just to make you worried. But again, buzzsaw into jump. He's actually doing the same thing every time. I do wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him.
Oh, yeah, the jump. Oh, that would have been sick. Oh, that was, I mean, it was still really sick. I still think it was a great read, but yeah, the conversion would have been beautiful. I don't know how difficult that is, though. I've never seen somebody get anti-aired that high with it. But regardless, okay, now the defense is, oh my gosh. Wow, one poke and it was flawless block. That was sick from Akira.
And Akira waited enough time to make sure that the meter regenerated for the combo. If he went for the air hook immediately, he actually would have been a split second away from having bar. Wait a minute, though. Enough of that. What's this potential final sequence going to be? Buzzsaw, jump in, conversion.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Really cashing out right now. Really wants this. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is not going to be enough, right? But this is like a bet that whatever the next read is going to be the right read. Oh, the catch! Oh, it's in Hawk 2. What a comeback! No life. Less than 1 life. 0.77 life. And there was that much confidence from Cenas to make that comeback against a 75% life Cabal, who is a very easy character to chip you out. That is a huge show of confidence. And honestly, like I said, this is the first time that I've seen Cenas like actually play in a full match. Like I said, I know that they're a good player. I've heard their name around before and seen their results, but this was very, very strong, both on offense and defense.
And it's a great way to kickstart your first side of winners here in the top 8. Akira, a player that's been here so many times, mostly with the Cabal, but we have seen other characters too. There's a massive display of talent. And being able to kind of just turn up and go, hey, I play as well, rock up with this Kung Lao, and the fashion of which Cenas was able to win, I think that was my favorite thing, is that a lot of the damage here, especially look at how dominant that first game was up until the turnaround was made. All of the momentum, all of the damage, so much of it in that second match just came from, I'm going to establish some pressure, and I know exactly what you're going to do to escape, and preemptively do this or that, and then confirm, and then get damage. It was like such a display of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, confidence really is the key here.
Look at that.
It was, yeah, like, just making the right read, knowing exactly what the opponent's going to do, and I mean, I seriously cannot... commend enough the confidence that it took to make that comeback, to believe in that comeback at the very end, because that was a lot of resources spent, right? Like, if this fatal blow, well, sick combo, by the way, sick conversion, if this fatal blow had not led to a win, then that was just fatal blow gone for the rest of the set, right? So that was a huge commitment to make, to try to make that comeback. And if you have the confidence to make that sort of commitment and then you actually make it work, that is a gigantic statement. So I'm looking forward to more matches from Cenas, who's actually going to go up against 2EZ later on in the bracket. But now we have 2 players from NA that we are very familiar with, and I'm also extremely excited for this match. It's going to be Jinks and JetRing.
I did mention at the start of the show that of all the sort of winner bracket round 1 matches here, this was the one I was keeping my eyes on the most. Jinks, one of the most established Jackie players out there, and thoroughly impressive. The kind of player that if they're in someone's path in bracket, there's always a little bit of fear, right? Oh my god, I gotta fight Jinks, gotta get ready for that top level Jackie. And We all know that the kind where you see someone in a bracket, it's like, oh, I really don't want to fight this person. And then on the other end, Jettering, who this is not their first time here on PlayStation tournaments. That Joker is one of the most impressive that I think we've ever seen on PlayStation tournaments, to say the least. And its variety, a massive combination of different variations. I believe even the last time we saw Jettering, I think it was the Corpse Trot, I believe we saw used a few times. Not 100% of the time, but enough to remind us that the move exists and it's still pretty good. So what we're going to see here, not sure, but I know that historically Joker has always been a character that people have said can fight Jackie, just has a lot of control over that sort of higher end of the screen. It's quite rare that a character can control the higher part of the screen, and that's where Jackie's always the most mobile, right? Because the leaps, the jump-ins, she has arcing projectiles of her own, so it's a pretty good pick for it.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about how we don't see that many set rounds anymore, but the other character that has pretty much always been considered within the top 3 is Joker, and there are very few Joker players, and it's strange because honestly, super fun character. But a lot of players that do play Joker, you know, we see players like Sonic Fox or for example, Unjust, I guess, Mighty Unjust, play Joker, but always as a secondary. So I think, to me, Jettering shows off a lot of stuff that you really can't see from almost any other Jokers, just because there are very few, like, dedicated Joker mains, and it does look like we're going to have the POW, and I actually can't see what the POW. The boing. Oh, the command jump. Okay, yeah. It was hidden behind your picture. You had to look backwards for that one. But, so we are going to have the double command jump options here.
I'm actually curious to see what the leap is going to do against Jackie. And people would normally take variations versus this character. The idea often is to be able to sort of deal with the leap by controlling it, by being able to shut it down, perhaps. Actually, maybe fighting fire with fire. And actually worth mentioning, too, these are 2 950 health characters.
Yeah, it's true. It was a very strange kind of switch over to Joker being a 950 health character, but oh my gosh,
very nice.
Anti-air. We've actually seen 2 amazing anti-airs, down 1 and down 2 so far, and now the Jack in the Box. I don't actually know what that move is exactly called, but look at this huge life lead, and yeah, both of these characters are gonna melt, like you said. 2 huge damage characters with 950 health. Like these rounds are gonna go quickly.
There's that immediate standing 1 anti-air, MK9 stuff up in here, and actually surgical time to go for that leap right over the back forward 4. However, overcommits. That was either an overcommitment, an execution error, perhaps. Either way, that is going to be the round in favor of Jettering, who had a phenomenal start. And the reach of these buttons, wow, immediately clobbered. No punish.
Yeah, ooh, that's rough. But, I mean, every single opportunity basically in this match is going to mean so much, right? Like, every single drop punish is like a third to a half of the opponent's health. Plus Oki, which of course with these characters is so important. Ooh, escape failed. Not that it matters, but that does mean that there was an attempt to attack. Oh, that was a little
clean anti-air. Oh, speaking of anti-airs, tries to go for it on the other side, and Jettering, big trouble now. That is going to do big damage, and it would have been suicide to just go for a wake-up there. I don't think it would have been worth the meter. So Jettering doing the right thing, holding on to it as we now go into this final round of game.
Yeah, nice. I'm expecting this to be a close match. Even though Joker is considered pretty good against Jackie, it's just such a volatile matchup, right? Always. And I don't think there's a single character that like completely shuts down Jackie, of course, or even kind of shuts down Jackie. So I would expect, especially between these two, who have a pretty good amount of success, both each, you know, both very well known within the scene, to have a pretty close set. But it's going to have to be a quick one. Like I said, 2 out of 3. They got a death quick. Nice roll out of the corner, but still didn't get out of the pressure. In fact, it's going to get opened up again.
Wow! Just out of nowhere with the down 2. And actually, here comes the damage. Doesn't quite get it. Yo, that's a whiff punish. That is a bad time to not get the finish of that combo. Is now high Jinks. Blood in the water, I suppose. Confirm, though. Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, actually got the armor break there. Oh, okay, great tech there, but we get the cancel. That's actually going to be it. That's it. Just no challenge. No challenge at all. A lot of different ways that could have been it, but you know what? Goes for the optimal, and by optimal, I mean optimal BM, because that is going to be saving the fatal blow for post-finish them screen.
Seeing what was really interesting to me about that finish was that, well, besides that judo trip that we just saw, was a flawless block on the leap, but then Jettering still committed with the button afterwards, and it clearly caught Hijinks by surprise. It's not every day that you flawless block someone and they still press. And I feel like that has to be knowledge of frame data. Surely the frame, because when you flawless block a jump in, you can really mess with the frame data of it. Does that apply to if you use it from a super jump or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking out loud here. But either way, Jinks wasn't the only one surprised by that outcome.
No, I do think it still applies, but that was a super deep jump in punch, right? So I think it was just slightly more deep than people are used to, like, the frame advantage from, because I feel like usually when you flawless block, it's like a really high up jump in or like a really high up jump kick, and then it's like really minus or punishable. But I think maybe that one was just so low that like maybe it just had a little bit more block advantage, and either Jinks like tried to press a button and it didn't come out because it was still in block stun, or maybe it was still advantageous, or maybe just the wrong button attempted there. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I do agree with you. That was pretty interesting, and no fear, of course, on the side of Jet Ring from that.
Perfect timing on that air grenade launcher. Just you know your opponent's going to try and anti-air with something there, and just getting at the perfect time to catch the start of it. 1-2-1. Can't quite get a whip punish though. The down one trying to steal that turn away. Good choice. There's a confirm. Oh, I don't think knocking him out the corner was part of the plan.
Oh, yeah. The corner is so huge in this matchup from both sides, really. And you can see exactly why right here. Yay! And it's not going to be quite enough, but one chip here, maybe even a grease kick chip could do it. No, not going to attempt it. This is scary. As we know, Joker with, I want to say, the best fatal blow in the game. Is that accurate, you think? Maybe Johnny. It's tied, right?
I would have said Johnny Cage until Joker came out.
Yeah, it's pretty close, though, between those two. Easily those two, but
oh, yeah.
But we actually haven't seen too many mix-ups off of the fatal blow cancels here from Jinks. I'm sorry, from Jet Ring. Let's hit it backwards.
Well, there's still time yet. That air-to-air, Jinks just a little bit faster on the uptake there. As the pressure in the corner continues, that is shades of game one. The exact same thing. Had the right idea, but just, it sure is down two around here.
Not as much as that Noob Saibot player from Europe, but we're getting there.
Yes. 1-1.
Nice. Yeah, you love to see it go to game 3. We had a lot of 2-0s in Europe, speaking of Europe, but today we're already starting off with some pretty close stuff. And I mean, actually, I guess all the matches today in general were pretty close, but at least now it's close in score. This match, it's so volatile. It's really going to be about who takes the momentum and who just runs with it. It's hard for me to like even say that much about the match, right? Because it's just like, oh yeah, Jinks just got on Jet Ring more, and it was just pressure, and then it was death, and that's life. But I don't know if there's too many good other defensive options that I'd like to see out of Jet Ring. Maybe like some more flawless blocks. Joker does have a pretty good flawless block, especially up 2 for being able to like catch people out of the air. So maybe I'd like to see that, but of course it's always going to be a tough read.
Not much time to make that adaptation now, though, as it is guaranteed to be one game for us to find out who's going to go into that next round of the upper bracket. So same variation, hasn't been a change here. The Boeing, we used a little bit more in that first game, I think. Sometimes on reaction to a leap would come out, and then Jet Ring, they'd go for a kind of immediate answer of a super jump of their own. Might create a bit of a weird situation, maybe prevent you from getting put near the corner, perhaps. Either way, let's jump in for this final match between these two. Jinks off to a good start with that forward throw. Plenty more work left to go. Oh, and clean.
Yeah, the second hit of 2-1. That was a really good option in that situation. Also to, fully dial in the whole thing and just know it was going to hit. That could have been pretty bad otherwise. All right, we're going to see a little bit of zoning. This zoning is actually not the easiest thing for Jackie to get through because the bullets and the bouncing, they just go so high in the air. It's kind of easy to accidentally land on it, but might not matter. Just a little bit of life left for Jet Ring. I still do want to see them go for some sort of fatal blow mix-up option or just a combo from it. Oh, this is not enough, though. Needs one more opening.
Actually, both of these players have had a consistent struggle with meter. They've just been plowing through it like there's no tomorrow, and when they need it, they don't have it.
Ready for this?
Not to say that's a mistake. Using that meter to even get in and create these obstacles, it's always worth the risk. In this case, though, there's that forward 2-1 confirmed. Jet Ring needs to make this round count. This is match point for Jinks.
Well, already making it count pretty heavily. I mean, 380 damage against a 950 health character. That is almost half life. But now it's going to go the exact same direction here. And in fact, more than 380, 401. And now even more. Ooh, yikes. This corner is so scary. You got to get out. That was a good way to get out, actually.
Counter hit on the down 1. Anti-air forward 2, but the 1 whiffs. That is so unfortunate. Jinks. Victory really in sight. Just needs to finish it. Close it out. fatal blow. Still, again, ready for Jettering.
Oh.
Any tick of the plasma at this point is going to hurt a great deal. The flawless block. Actually, that's how
Again.
game 1 ended.
It's exactly the same thing. Okay, now this is not going to be it. There's going to be down 2 after this, right? Oh, no, 4-2-1 into... Oh, wow. Yeah, that was good juggle knowledge. But now this is really close. 1 hit away from Jinks taking the set, and it's just going to straight up be a leap jumping to the long arm of the law, as I like to call it. What a weird way to end that. I mean, I would have had to assume that was something that would have been expected, but I think Jettering may have committed to something at that exact point in time. Maybe it was a gunshot, start up a gunshot, start up the leap, something like that. But Jinks will take the set. Very close set, though.
That was quite a multi-layered final game, actually, because the first thing I wanted to say was it's not often that you see Joker players go for the multiple amplified kapows in one combo, right? Because it adds a little bit of damage, but not as much as it would be if you saved it and then just hit it again. Being able to have the right combo to go into it twice, get the damage on deck, but importantly, as the combo started from a fatal blow cancel, doing a combo that takes so long, but by the time it's over, you've got it back to once again get that chip damage, get that pressure. It was a really, really good choice. And then, I don't know, maybe expecting a bit too much respect out of Jinks. Just being like, it's close, it's tense, I need this round, he needs this round as well, so I don't think anyone's going to be super, super risky here. I'm going to go for what might be a safe bet, which is a max distance kapow, because it goes so far. By the time you've even made up your mind, Jinks is already flying through the air, because that was not what you expected, you know?
Yeah, imagine not expecting that an upgraded Jackie is going to jump 24/7, right? Like, imagine...
Pandemonium.
Yeah. It couldn't be me, for sure. That is the classic. There's always the option there. And I mean, honestly, that was a mix-up, right? Because even if there was an attempt at an anti-air, there was, of course, the chance to ground blast and then just take it that way. So it really came down to that last leap, and it was the right call. Oh, it was the startup of a kapow. That's interesting. Not what I expected, but unfortunately, that was just not the right move for the time. So Jinks will move forward, and we are going to be moving down now to our 4th and final first round match, which is going to be MK Legend 88 against SRiu Payne.
Excited for this one, because SRiu Payne we have seen time and time and time again here on PlayStation tournaments. The Kung Lao does tend to be the main. We've seen plenty of characters from them on top of Kung Lao. But interestingly, who is your alternate character in this player survey that was filled in? None is listed. So Kung Lao, I mean, clearly the favorite, but we've seen the likes of, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure we've seen Liu Kang. We've definitely seen Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be Kung Lao today, then absolutely. When are we not going to see Kung Lao from the Mexican community? MK Legend, on the other hand, more of that noob Cybot on deck. So looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, you know, it's Friday the 13th, so maybe we just had to get a bunch of, like, zombies out, you know, we just have to make it happen. But we did have, in case anybody didn't see, of course, we're referencing that there were 2 very strong Noob Cybot players in the European bracket, including one that got 3rd, and now we're going to see a little bit more again, and Noob Cybot, a character that we really don't get to see all that often, but this is also a player that I'm not as familiar with. Of course, you know, just like Ketchup just said, we have seen SRiu Payne a million times on broadcast, and of course, I'm a big fan of them. One of the best players out of LATAM, and I mean, I just want to talk about it more before this match starts. I love the fact that certain regions have these, like, characters that they've really pushed to the limit, right? Like for example, like when Illuminati brought out the Buzzsaw Lao for the first time, every player in, like, every region was like, hold up, you know, give me a second, I gotta learn how to deal with this. And then we have players who, like, for example, like all in the like Russia area that, like, played Sindel in a way that we never got to see before. Like, you're a fool. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it, like, you're a fool if you're not paying attention to every region, no matter what game you play. If you're not paying attention to every region, you're missing out on a lot. And that's something that for sure we get to see a lot here, which is always super sick.
There's always that little edge of unique personality from different territories, and I say that as a European. You know, Europe loves its Mortal Kombat and has done for many, many years. I actually caught a really, really creative, it made me giggle, variation name from Payne FC. I'm not going to say it. I'll let the show reveal it.
Mexicon? That's actually amazing. That's actually godlike.
One of the best names I've ever seen. Shouts to the Mexican scene, absolutely. It's now Payne pushing forward as now the Kotal Khan. It's kind of what I said. Kung Lao is is SRiu Payne's favorite character, but I feel like since we've started doing the fight nights, we just have not seen Kung Lao much from him. So maybe he's just trying to go with different picks, perhaps, maybe being a bit experimental. Either way, the Noob Saibot on the other end, MK Legends getting a lovely jump in there goes Meter.
Yeah. Payne has been a player who has played a lot of characters in the past, too, like you said. So it's not something surprising to me. I think, too, a lot of... I mean, there's certain players that really like to just try out characters. You know, we used to see that from Mighty Unjust a lot. I think Payne's one of those players. We might see a switch after this if it continues like it did in the first round.
It's like I said, it depends on whether you feel like it's enough information to suggest a character change is necessary. Maybe just wanted to show us a cool variation name. Either way.
Yeah,
the cat goes back towards the corner. Ooh, challenging after the cat against Noob Saibot, who's standing one is quite fast. That's a risky play.
Winning the neutral, I guess I wouldn't say winning the neutral, but, you know, getting the first hit in neutral very consistently, but then not really get anything off of it. And by that I mean Payne. Okay, yeah, it had to break away right there. That was a really good reaction break.
Oh, you're done.
Oh, yeah, that's GG. Didn't even need to do anything fancy. That was even just standing 4 into the kick. And honestly, I don't know if the Kotal Khan was the way to go. I think we might see a switch. I think the Kotal's a really important character to learn, of course, too. I think Kotal has some really nice matchups that you want to have in your pocket if you're a multi-character player. But maybe not this one. And honestly, I don't really understand the pick in general, right? Like, Noob controls the mid-range with a lot of really fast normals that are like, which is... kind of like the bane of the playstyle that you want to play as Kotal. Like, it's hard to challenge forward 2-2 with Kotal's forward 2 unless you're whiff punishing, and it's really hard to get in on the slides. So, well, nope, there's a commitment here. You love to see it. Oh, just kidding. you hate to see it. No, you love to see the mains coming out.
Surprised to see the Kotal Khan in the first place. I didn't really perform all that much. Like you said, Noob Saibot controls that ground super well. We're very, very used to seeing Kotal Khan players, the use of the forward 1, the forward 2. They tend to be quite assertive buttons, and all it will take is a relatively somewhat safe placed slide to challenge that. So imagine a bit of a nightmare. However, going over now to the Buzzsaw and the Possessed Hat, this is kind of what I was expecting to see from SRiu Payne, so... we'll really see what happens here. We saw this exact matchup earlier today in EU, and it was a wild one. So, are we going to see the same thing here? I don't know.
Yeah, we actually saw the same exact matchup twice, going 2 different ways from the same 2 players in EU, and now it's cool to see completely different players trying to play the matchup. Surprisingly, we saw that Lao can actually control a lot of the neutral if you're playing very, very carefully, I guess I would say. But right now, it looks like Payne doesn't want to play neutral. Payne wants to rush down. Oh, wow, just let it go immediately. I like that. And Legend pressing buttons, getting hit by a lot of little hits here and there. A bar A, as they call it.
Still has tools in place to get the job done. We've already seen the established 1-1-3 on its own into throw, because you're going to expect and respect the slide to come out. The first throw used has landed and escape failed too, so 1 throw and 1 fatal blow confirmed, and MK Legend's going to win this round. And he knows it. Oh, that was too risky.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we saw a lot of teleports for both these characters also in EU. Sometimes you just gotta go for it.
If you haven't seen the VOD, please go back and watch it. You'll do yourself a favor.
Yeah, it was a really good tournament today. It was a really unique one. But yeah, sometimes you gotta try it. However, that's pretty slow. The only thing it could have caught probably would have been the startup of a Buzzsaw, but it looks like Payne is being really patient about the Buzzsaws in neutral. Like, you see, like right here, just waiting around and not doing it unless it's like an advantage state, which I think is a really smart idea, because there's a lot you can get clipped by. Right there, exactly. Slight frame advantage says, okay, it's time to throw it out.
Another air-to-air standing one. Well, jumping one, probably more accurate here. Snake. Oh, wow! The whiff on Wake Up forces out the break in return. The whip punish, and that's a perfect decision. And actually, that could very much be it. Kung Lao and damage. And we talk about Noob Saibot, 47%!
Didn't even need to finish that combo, but just wanted to show us how much damage he was going to get in that corner, which was actually massive. Yeah, that was beautiful. And actually, it's something that we saw earlier from the other Kung Lao that we had earlier, where it's like a duck, and then you wait, and you're like, oh, there's a whiffed throw, and then you down to it afterwards, right? So it wasn't like a read, it was actually a reaction, which is super beautiful. So, I mean, good stuff. The Lao definitely looking a little bit better than the Kotal, I think. Maybe just a little bit.
Almost like it's his favorite character or something. The question is, though, Chef, different variation from Noob Saibot, perhaps? Noob Saibot is one of those characters where you're never going to have a Noob Saibot player who only uses one variation and that's it. There's always going to be more. The question is, are we going to see that this time? I'll have a quick look. I think it might
looks like it's the
one.
same. Yeah, the name was the same. Of course, you can technically have the same name on multiple variations, but this is like a pretty high damage variation. I'm not sure exactly what else you would pick here. I mean, the damage is really, really important just because Lao himself can do so much damage. And the slide, I mean, realistically, that's kind of all you need. So I kind of like this. It's just about finding the right moments. And I just can't think of anything else. Nice. Back to a round start. It's a great normal. Oh, nope. Trade. Shouldn't have spent the bar.
I like this I like this variation choice purely on the basis of, normally you would choose between one of the two launchers because they'll be more important in one matchup than others. But with Kung Lao, you're kind of going to be hitting him from all over the screen, so you'll need both. In this case, though, instant jump one again, like right there. You got sickle snag, over commits to it though, and that's going to give Payne FC a clean whiff punish. That if he finished the combo, would have done probably that 37% or something, maybe more. Ooh, against Kung Lao, that is a safe check. We saw it earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, Noob players love checking with that. Ooh, okay. Anti-airing with the trade. Not exactly the trade you want. This might be it, actually. Okay, wow,
the teleport
was
calculated.
That was smart. Yeah, teleport is the strongest meterless ender for that exact situation, and that barely killed.
I feel like in that situation, I would have second guessed it and just done fatal blow.
Same.
That's why I'm here and not playing.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing. Okay, big combo here. Gonna barely catch the corner, so could have had sort of a transitional combo, but didn't get a chance to. With a pretty late breakaway, honestly. That might not have been worth breaking at that point in time. You already took 300 damage.
Down 3 doesn't really do much. I think Payne FC is going to be happy to take that trade of the down 3 damage into the pressure and actually eats an instant jump in of his own. That's going to be a taste of your own medicine, Doctor. That's match point, both sides.
Yeah, we're here to another final round. We're getting a lot of close matches here, but they're fast matches. I mean, just even aside from the fact that 2 out of 3, we just see so much aggression from everybody today. And here we go. Huge combo. Oh, no. Thought that was going to be a counter hit, and so was trying to get the crushing blow right there. No other reason why I think you do that, especially with bar. And that's unfortunate, but still, I mean, has a huge life lead here.
Again,
Good
going in
block.
for that fatal blow check. Looks random, but in this matchup, Kung Lao cannot punish it from that distance, so you may as well do it, especially at the moment. 1-1-3 doesn't manage to hit its mark. Another instant jump 1. Wake up roll. The dive kick with punish is going to do it. SRiu Payne is going to pull this one off, but yeah, definitely had to switch to that Kung Lao. That was a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the attempt. I think it's a really smart thing to do when you're playing in tournaments like these, to try things out, because trying them out in a casual environment is not the same as trying them out in a tournament environment. Right. So I think it's a really commendable thing to do, especially when you're in the upper bracket and you have more chances, even if you do lose. But yeah, obviously it didn't quite work out today in this particular matchup. We might see it again later. We'll see. But the Lao was everything we expected from the Lao. I mean, it was extremely solid, extremely patient, didn't get caught by anything too out of the ordinary. None of the fatal blow checks worked, none of the raw teleports worked, and SRiu Payne just playing solid as usual. It's so great to see this strong Lao play all the time, and especially, like I said, something that we don't get to see in NA too much. So I'm a fan. But also, I mean, on the other side, Legend played quite well. It just wasn't quite enough to get through the buzzsaw.
And that's always going to be the issue, is how do you get around the buzzsaw that's on display? Because it's such an overbearing move, and I don't want to spread misinformation, but I am fairly certain that not every character has an answer for it. Sometimes you'll have to just go with the best you can get, whether it's a trade maybe that sort of re-establishes the neutral. You just have to go in and look it up, and that's what people have done at this point now. It's been around for long enough that people are starting to look for their options, but sometimes those options are still kind of not so good. However, looking at the bracket now, Too Easy versus Elbow Cenas, and then Jinks versus SRiu Payne. 2 really, really good matches, both of which determining who's going to make it into the winners final. So definitely excited for that one.
Yeah, and then off stream, it looks like Akira did manage to win their first match in the lower bracket, so we are probably going to see them a little bit later. I mean, honestly, the fact that Akira was knocked into lower bracket like round 1 is pretty surprising. They usually place quite well, but we do, of course, have quite a few strong players here today.
Especially Elbow Cenas. If you want to get involved in all the action here on the PlayStation tournaments, go to compete.playstation.com. As I've said before, and I will say many times before the end of the night, more than just Mortal Kombat 11 that's covered in these tournaments, whether it's other fighting games or whether it's other games of different genres. There's really a little something for everyone, I find. So jump on there, get involved. We'd love to see you in future tournaments. We're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll find out which 2 players will be in the all-important top 3 winners finals.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time to the top. Of course, are here back with the PlayStation Tournament's Mortal Kombat 11 Fight Night, and we're finished with the first round of the upper bracket. But now is when we get to the real, I think, meat and potatoes of this tournament. We've got players that are extremely strong facing off against each other in these next two matches.
Yes, we do. We've got Too Easy versus Elbow Cenas, so we know we're going to get the Kung Lao from Elbow Cenas. The question is, who is Too Easy going to play? Likely either Sub-Zero or SRiu, as we mentioned earlier today. And then Jinks versus SRiu Payne. So actually we're going to get, likely, a Kung Lao in both of these matches.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it earlier, but the Laenda Kung Laos are extremely strong. And actually, we did have both of our first off-stream matches play out. It looks like JetRing eliminated Legend, and now we have our next set of players. But of course, we'll see which of those we get to see on stream a little bit later, because right now we are moving onward to our first upper semifinals match, which, like you said, both of our matches today we're going to have, not today, but these next two matches are going to have Laenda Kung Laos. But this time, it will be Elbow Cenas taking on Too Easy. And I think the big question here, right, is like you've mentioned so many times before, some characters, at the very minimum, have stronger options to deal with the pressure of the Buzzsaw hat. But which of Too Easy's characters has the best options there? I've seen, a few pretty cool options from a few different characters, but a lot of times it's from obscure characters. I'd have to assume that Cetrion can do Natural Barrier, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's been kind of a while since we've seen people really effectively counter Buzzsaw, so I kind of have forgotten a lot of the best options.
And in a lot of cases, Buzzsaw doesn't get used by Kung Lao players as often as I would expect. I know there's actually been a recent... I don't want to use the word breakthrough, but I've been seeing some Kung Lao players in tournaments start to explore the spiritual guidance, actually, quite a lot. I know even Tekken Master's been using a lot of spiritual guidance, but it's looking like it's going to be the Cetrion coming out from Too Easy, all the same. And we were just talking about characters. I know Too Easy, kind of going with really, really strong characters because you're a competitive player, you want to give yourself the best chance. Pretty sure Too Easy's favorite character,
Womp womp,
before the game session desynchronized, is Collector. The mere thought of mentioning Collector and the lobby just implodes. How about that?
Yeah, it's the forbidden name you're not allowed to mention. Yeah, no, it's true, but I think that Collector maybe doesn't have the matchups that Too Easy wants, because Too Easy is one of those players that is always, while we're waiting for the lobby to come back, I might as well talk about Too Easy's history. One of the OD boys, a group of players that played a whole lot, especially starting kind of in the MKX days and then moving through to Injustice 2, where I would say they started to find most of their success. And then now Too Easy especially is doing extremely well in this game, putting a lot of time into it. But all of them together as a group, they're kind of like-minded players that really worked on having the right matchups for all the right situations, really kind of playing to win and being prepared for every situation. And so that's really what kind of Too Easy is, I think, as a player. So even if you have a character that you like a lot, he's always going to have whatever character is the strongest zoner, and then another character that's really good at kind of fighting everybody, and then maybe some character that is just a really hard specific counter pick. We used to see out of Too Easy, actually, which we haven't seen for a while, the Shang Tsung. Oh, they're in there. Okay, so they actually may have been playing, and maybe we had it on the background. Oh, no, this is... Sorry, no, this is the last match. This is the last match.
Oh, okay, yeah. I totally was not paying any attention to the top of the screen. I was like, oh, was that just a spectator machine that went down? Nah, this is just some nice background. But as we were talking, though, as you were saying, Too Easy has very much grown into a player that likes to play a team, and Shang Tsung did used to be one of his most picked characters. But I kind of think that over time, maybe Shang Tsung just didn't become as used as before, because Shang Tsung was used a lot by Too Easy whenever he had to fight a Kung Lao, for example, and a matchup that Shang did really well in, mostly with Warlock, when people were stuck to their own... there were preset variations that you had to use. I think the second people could then start taking slightly different moves, the reason Too Easy would need to pick Shang Tsung kind of disappeared, because you could take those strengths and give them to someone else who does it a little bit better. That's probably where Cetrion came from.
Yeah, Cetrion. Pretty much exactly. However, I do seem to recall, I mean, this is probably not something we're going to see, but I do seem to recall that the Ermac Lift was one of the really good options against the Buzzsaw, because I think you get a combo on a trade. I could be wrong on that, but I seem to recall seeing that. I don't know. I love seeing Shang Tsung, and we used to have so many good Shang Tsungs in EU, but Arn Kratos I haven't seen for a while, and then started playing sub, which is of course is good. But yeah, I guess I just want to see more Shang.
I always want to see more Shang Tsung, especially now with all the cool variation stuff. However, here's the question: are we going to be able to get into this match? Because now, same characters, same matchups, all the stuff that we were just talking about, right? Still relevant. However, let's go. I've got my fingers crossed under the desk.
Just don't say you know whose name, all right? Or it'll desync the match. The character we don't speak of. Oh, that's the character I want to see more of. All right, so we do see the Buzzsaw and the Possessed Hat. Both. Oh, yeah. And then Wind, Earthquake. Okay, so all the variations that we expect to see from these, there's not really a lot of variation in the Cetrion variation. I know it's a funny thing to say. But Kung Lao can choose some slightly different options. And actually, I would like to see the air teleport. But yeah, keeping the intros going. I like it.
I actually haven't heard that intro before, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, as we now jump in, as we knew, it's that Buzzsaw coming out to play. What can Cetrion do about it? That's going to be the question. Opening things up with an immediate grab. With Cenas looking forward. Wow, Buzzsaw narrowly missing its mark.
Ooh, lots of teleports already off the bat from Too Easy. Yeah, there we go. That's a good option. I mean, obviously that wasn't exactly in pressure, but that was a great option in mid-range. It's really hard to do anything when Cetrion, just throws out the natural barrier like that. It's such a good move. It just stays out. It's pretty impossible to whiff punish unless you've got something very specific. Right now, though, Too Easy needs to get out of this corner. Great flawless block. That is a really good way to build some space.
So I was talking about Too Easy's flawless block game is always immaculate. And in these kind of instances, it's just such a cheeky little turn stealer. Already committed to the teleport, couldn't get it, and you can... Look, we are seeing in pure black and white why Cetrion has been picked for this matchup. We saw Noob Saibot with varied results in answers for Buzzsaw, and now we're seeing Cetrion with much more consistently good answers. And the matchup looks very different because of it.
I do have to point out, the reason why that teleport didn't do anything was because they did teleport grab, and right as they did teleport grab, Too Easy did Hell's Wrath and flew into the air, and so he was airborne. That's such a funny interaction. But yeah, no, this is, like I said, Too Easy likes having the right character for the right situation, and let me tell you, this is the right character for this situation.
If there was ever a time to have... Yep. I mean, look, it just neutralizes it. So much of that game plan from Elbow Cenas is built around Buzzsaw for conversions, creating pressure.
I mean, still not doing badly. Still very, keeping things very, very close, but you can just tell that Too Easy is in control of most of this match.
Absolutely. There's the Possessed Hat. Stagger game and the pushback. Wow, tried to do something there. Can afford to take this throw. I didn't remember seeing escape failed, so last chance. Oh, ooh. Charging it doesn't get nullified. I see. I see you.
Yeah, honestly, maybe shouldn't have amplified it. Maybe the like projectile eliminating hitbox, I guess, would have stayed out longer. I don't know exactly how to describe that, but regardless, that was very smart from Elbow Cenas.
Amplified hit of Hell's Wrath does not hit its mark. A little bit unfortunate seeing as we spent meter on it, but you know what? A few of these boulders will give us time to bring our projectiles back. Dive kick to make it win. Nice reaction there from Elbow Cenas.
Yeah, the dive kick was really good. Oh, yep, getting little hits here and there. But with a 950 health character, all those little hits mean a lot.
Absolutely. Hits it rock. Anti-air. Armor break from the anti-air. Love to see it. That's just the best little mini bonus, I suppose.
Oh, just getting little hits of chip, but oh yeah, here we go. Pressure's beginning. Oh, punish. That should be it. I don't think. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that was an interesting way to confirm. But the slow-mo of her raising her hands was so funny. There just wasn't enough life there. That's unfortunate. That was a pretty funny way for that to end. I want to see the slow-mo again of her going like, oh. But yeah, the really good stuff. You can tell that 2easy really had like a lock on that matchup, but Cenas really changed their play style. You could tell it was a lot less dependent on the buzzsaw and a lot more of just like, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to do solid loud stuff. And it worked. And the patience really showed. I mean, you know, that whole spot where it was like, oh, here we go. Yes,
here we go.
Oh, look at it. Look at it. It looks so funny. Oh!
What I was going to say, though, actually, in that match was more of an emphasis on charging the hat rather than just letting it rip, too.
Yeah.
We've clearly seen, I didn't even know that was an interaction, but clearly if Lauer's charging the hat and it's being held down, it mustn't count as like a projectile at that point. Surely it can't, because otherwise Natural Barrier would have just nullified it, but it went through it, which was the first time we'd seen it in that match, and every other time beforehand Cenas was just letting it go, and that's why it was getting chewed through. So must have just been right. I'm going to hold it down a little bit more. Ooh. That is a free confirm, and 2easy knows has got to respect the dive kick.
Yeah, actually, you know, in that situation with the hat last time, I think it also might have been Cenas pulling the hat back out of the hitbox for the natural barrier, which is also super smart. We'd have to look at that again, but I mean, one of those ways was really interesting, regardless of how it turned out. And look at this huge life lead to start things off.
Trust me.
Yeah, fantastic start. Ooh, that's a trade you want. However, that is not one. Fatal blow. However, going to keep us in the match, and actually 2easy losing the fatal blow now. Remember, 950 health character on the Cetrion, so this is still far from over. Cenas just one good touch, and look, no defensive bar. That's a risky game to play.
Oh no. Ooh, that was a great down 4 underneath. Oh no, Chip. That's got to be Chip. Oh my gosh, and that's terrible. That is a lot of resources gone. Look at this. 2easy doesn't have a bar of defensive meter yet, and only has 1 bar of offensive. It'll probably build back, but the fatal blow completely gone, and in the corner, and now it's match point for Cenas. This player, like I said, I have not seen them before this in full gameplay, but this is really solid.
It's not every day you see a buzzsaw player use the charged hat for the purpose of getting you to move, and then using the hat to convert into a combo. That's one of the new things that I'm seeing today, and I'm really impressed with it. It gets you to jump, he hits a forward 1, releases the hat, hits another forward 1, and it's just like, what is going on here?
Okay, here we go. 2easy needs to run with this. 2easy needs to keep this corner pressure, and there we go. Landing a lot of damage here, but again, that dive kick was beautiful to prevent the knockdown.
This is mercy.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't, how did that even hit?
Elder God.
They do what they want. That's right. You're right. You know, she can change what size she is. Maybe she can change the size of her hitbox, and that's going to be that. This is exactly what 2easy needs. I like this aggression more from 2easy. You know, keeping Cenas in the corner is working really well. It's stopping the ability to set up that hat, which is something that we're kind of seeing a lot. If you can kind of run the offense on the buzzsaw loud, it's the best way to stop the hat.
Beautiful tech there from 2easy, and that 1-1 to confirm. Not going to do a lot of damage, but what it is going to do is create plus frames and more of that corner pressure still, the absorption. Hang on a minute, 2easy. This is a perfect scenario to equalize.
Ooh, or at least it was. And this is going to be, of course, huge damage. Everything that Lao does that converts is quite large damage. Even with the breakaway, I mean, look at this. Things are more than tied up now. Cenas taking back that life lead.
That's a trade he'll happily take for now.
Oh, I like
using that fatal blow in the first round, so... Oh, the whip!
Not over yet. Oh, no. 2easy getting clipped just at the end with the jump over jump 2. That was a perfect time to pull that out, and 2easy just committing to something. I didn't see exactly what it was, but that's super unfortunate, and that is going to be the perfect option to come back, and our first player making it into the winners finals will be Cenas.
Almost got super unfortunate there too, because right as he went in for that flawless block, the up 2 whiffed entirely. Cetrion's down 4 just low profiled it like nobody's business, so would have been a frustrating way to lose the game, but thankfully for Cenas did not lose the game at all. 2easy so close to being able to make it through, but seen him make losers bracket. I'll say lower losers. I almost said that's not really a word. He's made loads of losers bracket runs in the past, so I don't think this is going to be too much of a big deal for him. However, Cenas really showing up today and making a statement about, I'm here to stay. I had not personally really heard of this player before today. I know you had heard of the results they've been able to obtain at a very, very young age too. You know, one of the young blood, as it were. This is a great debut towards PlayStation tournaments.
Yeah, no, I'm so incredibly impressed. Also, I saw a question, that I kind of feel like we gloss over sometimes. Somebody said, what's a friendship? Because it is kind of out of nowhere to see, like, Kung Lao pull out a little chain set and start saying choo-choo, but it's the most disrespectful finisher you can do in this game. You know, you don't actually, I love that clip, you don't hit him with a fatality, you hit him with the ultimate disrespect. And it's a friendship, you know, it's about having fun and being friends, you know, you bake him a cake, or you make a rainbow, or you pull out the train set, or you play jump rope. It's, you know, it's a good time. We always have a good time here in Mortal Kombat. But yeah, like you were saying, this is such a great first showing in this, at least in this tournament series, right? And I mean, again, the young players, they're just so innovative, and they bring fresh perspective, I think, always to any game that they enter, and it's always so great to see. And I mean, 2EZ played extremely well there too, of course. I loved the pick for the Cetrion, but sometimes, you know, it's just not quite enough, especially with that Lao damage. That's going to be the big issue there. With Cetrion not getting that much damage, it's hard to equal things up. And it almost turned the other way, honestly. If that really funny clip of the fatal blow not landing would have landed, things could have been totally different, but that's not how it landed. And 2EZ will be moving down to fight Jetring. Ooh, that would be a good match, but only one of them can make it on stream, as we're going to now move to Jinks versus SRiu Payne.
Potentially from one Kung Lao to another, as Jinks, this will no doubt be a matchup that Jinks is familiar with. Same thing for SRiu Payne, to be fair. Jackie is not exactly an uncommon character, is she, especially in tournament play. But Jinks is strongly always considered to be one of the better Jackie players in the business, so that absolutely is going to count for something. How I think this is going to go, I really don't know. I think that a lot of the Mexican scene in general, especially those that play Kung Lao, they tend to bring this really high-octane nature, with Kung Lao already being a volatile character. Historically, I've seen them do quite well versus other players in PlayStation tournaments, and a big part of that just comes from the chaos. Some players are just really bad at it. They just can't put a lid on it. They can't keep them in one place. These players just they do what they want to do, and they do all this unpredictable stuff. The fact that we're in a best of 3 at the moment will make that even more scary still.
Yeah, I am of the personal opinion, of course, somebody's going to blow me up for this for sure, but that I think Lao can do very well against Jackie, right? Lao is a normal health character with a lot of damage and the ability to convert off of a lot. Buzzsaw controls a lot of the space in the air, and honestly, the best way, almost in the entire game, to deal with the leap, jump back dive kick. Jump back dive kick is so good against it, because you just get out of the way, you avoid any sort of mix up, and any time that you see it, you're just like, boom, instant damage, and then thank you, and now it's Oki time. And you are a 950 health character, so it doesn't matter. So I honestly think that there's a really, really good argument for Lao doing well in this matchup. And here you go. Exactly. Thank you very much, Payne, for showing off one of the main reasons.
Starting things off, giving us some decent information. We saw that preemptive charge Buzzsaw, and then the possessed hat immediately afterwards, both of which hitting their mark. Now, Jinks had to spend a lot of meter to even get the job done here. However, I think there's been a rather clear victory so far, was putting him in the corner. Almost as I say that, though, Payne has been able to fight his way out.
Yeah, this is, well, I mean, we've said this about pretty much every match today, but this is another really chaotic match. Oh my gosh, that was only a throw? That could have been more. That could have been a jab punish. I like the idea, though, because it was kind of like a scary thing, but oh my gosh, you can only cover so much ground with that hat. The hat only goes so high, and it actually, if it would have gone backwards, maybe if it had gone up forward a little bit more, it might have gone the right direction, but Jinks, nice. After a pretty rough start, managing to steal back the entire round.
I did think it was a worthy attempt to send the hat as high into space as you possibly can. However, preemptive maybe launcher just to cover as much of that screen as you can. A meter left in the tank so we can go for a full combo. Jinks. Oh, and that up 3. All you did was throw meter away, and the spicy floor is still around. That is unfortunate, Chef. And that was a clean game 1.
Yeah, that was a really fun 10 seconds that we just got to watch this match. But no, this is a very, very offensive match. And yeah, things just didn't really get started, right? I would really like to see some more like jump back and then, dive kick punish, or jump back, jump kick, dive kick punish. Both of those work really well because, of course, Kung Lao has one of the best jump kicks in the game and dive kicks in the game. But the offense was really just unrelenting from Jinks and didn't allow any sort of escape. So really good stuff for that. But I mean, the way that it started off, it was looking like it was going to be pretty good. Starting off with like the amp hat and then leaving it in the air and then letting it anti-air. But then Jinks immediately adapted to it. So realistically, I think the adaptation from Jinks is what really dominated that first game. Now it's time to try and adapt on the other side.
It's a different beast. Fighting someone that's really, really talented with Jackie. You're used to playing a variation that's overbearing. The buzzsaw being the one that says, I'm in charge, I'm the one that's controlling where you go in, when you press a button, when it's my turn, when it's your turn. And then you fight someone like Jinks, who's like, okay, I'm going to get in now. And it's a very, very, very different kind of situation to deal with. Payne does not have a lot of time to make it. One more game and that's it. You're straight into the loser's bracket. Jinks. Looking pretty good so far. Wake up, jump, and this is what I mean. Just very hard to pin down, and it's a style that you have to play with a character like Jackie. Air to air as well, more than prepared. Gets the conversion from the air to air, and challenging on wake up. Jinks is already back in there.
Oh, but there we go again with the anti-air. Drops the down 2 finisher. That was actually a lot of damage to drop, but still got some good Oki, and it's taking advantage of it. Oh, it's just chilling there. I like the option to shoot projectiles from Jinks. That's a pretty good trade, all things considered. And had a life lead, not so much anymore. Oh my, how did that forward one whiff? Jackie literally like pulled back and made that forward one whiff. That was ridiculous.
Excessive use of that down 3, seeing as the buzzsaw hat was a little bit higher up than normal.
Oh, no.
You're done. I don't think he's going to bring the meter back.
I don't think it was worth breaking. Yeah, no, it was not worth breaking right there. Yikes.
That wasn't worth it at all.
Yeah, Jinks knew that too, right? Even if there had not been a break right there, that would have still basically been GG. So now Payne has to run away and not have any defensive bar for a while. Only 1 bar. This is really scary.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my nose. Couldn't break that 370. Still doesn't have defensive bar. This is so rough. All from that one choice made at the end of the final round. And look at this. I mean, speaking of final round, this is match point out for Jinks.
Going into this round with absolutely no defensive meter was by far the worst way things could have begun. Unfortunately, just in the heat of the moment, deciding to break, thinking it's gonna do. No, the brutalities. He was a skeleton the whole time.
Ooh, spooky. It is Friday the 13th. Only spooky things today. Yeah, that was rough. There were like glimmers of really good moments and moments where you could really see like how that matchup could play out potentially in the favor of Lao. A lot of the anti-air hats and just a lot of the pressure that was started. But it just was, I think, a little bit too sparse. And it was just really all in control of Jinks, which, like I said in the previous set, because we have so many Kung Laos today, the best way to stop Kung Lao from getting out the hat and starting that pressure is just to pressure him until he can't do anything at all. And that's exactly the route that Jinks took, which is, of course, what you'd expect from an upgraded-ish Jackie. And that was just a really dominant set. So Jinks is now, after this, going to have to run back that matchup against a different player, as Jinks is going to be our second player to make it into the upper bracket finals. And we are going to see SRiu Payne move down, which is... I mean, I was about to say early, but I guess we're actually kind of far in the bracket now, so not super surprising. But I wonder who he's going to play.
We're leading into that all-important top 4 at this point. So we know that Elbow Cenas and Jinks are guaranteed for that top 3. Only 2 players can join that top 4, where we're going to be resuming the stream action. So 4 more series, and we're going to have some kind of champion crowned here for the PlayStation Fight Nights MK11 Ultimate. I mean, it's been a good day so far. EU was a lot of fun. NA's been a lot of fun too. Love to see it. And I've loved just being reminded that there's a very different kind of character pool from place to place here in the world of Mortal Kombat. Now, if anyone at home wants to get involved in all competitive action, you can. It's compete.playstation.com. It's just appeared at the bottom of your screen. Just put that link in a search bar, whatever it is. The competition center tells you how to play in these tournaments, how to get involved, the games that are included. And really, it is as simple as that. We're going to go for one final break, and when we come back, we'll be finishing things off here for North America, PlayStation Fight Nights, MK11. See you in a bit.
welcome back. It's time to close things out here. We are down to our final 4 players, or at least maybe we'll very soon be down to our final 4 players. At the very minimum, we're down to our upper bracket finals, and it's time to see who will be our champion for NA. Yeah, we're down to our final 5. We were almost there, but SRiu, Payne, and Akira are still going to be playing for a little bit, but it does look like Jetring managed to barely eliminate 2Easy in the lower bracket. However, we'll be seeing the winner of the other match soon. First, we must look at Cenas, a newcomer to the PlayStation tournaments, going up against Jinks, who is a relative regular.
So Jinks was able to just defeat Payne FC in rather dominant fashion. Important to note, though, is that this was the exact same matchup as the previous match that Jinks was able to win. So it's going to be Buzzsaw Lao, the Possessed Hat. With how dominant Cenas has been able to be with this variation, you would assume that he's going to go in with the exact same thing. The question is, what is going to be the difference in play style? That's where things have been rather distinct, because Cenas has been happy to... The Buzzsaw Hat is everything about his variation, but more importantly, it exists really to force you to do something, and he's always ready to confirm. I haven't seen many Buzzsaw players be, I think, so militant with getting that amplified Buzzsaw Hat out of there, knowing that you're going to try and jump or press a button or whatever, landing the hit first, and then simply releasing the hat to continue the combo. Like, that's really, really cool stuff. Looks like the people favor Jinks. Through results alone, I'm inclined to agree, but the young blood man, 18 years of age, if I'm not mistaken, Cenas is an up-and-comer, and that's an understatement. We'll see if he can pull this one off.
Yeah, another huge difference between that set and this set, of course, is that this set is now in the range of 3 out of 5, so there's going to be a lot more time for both players to make that adjustment. Then we'll be moving back down to 2 out of 3 for the next match, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm really excited to see this. I actually think, I agree with you completely on the way that Cenas uses the hat. I think they would be a really good Sub-Zero player in other Mortal Kombats, you know? Like, it's basically how people use the offensive Ice Clone. That's the old style, right? But the Ice Clone is in this game a very sharp spinning hat.
May I quickly be that guy and say that it is only MKX that has an aggressive Ice Clone? Up until MKX, he was a defensive character, Chef.
Nine had an offensive Ice Clone too, okay? 9 had a very... you could totally safe cancel into Ice Clone.
Kind of
okay.
did. It kind of did, but it was still, for me, I think, a defensive tool. That's just my humble opinion. But you know what? Right. Speaking of which, starting things off with the hat already. May as well call it an Ice Clone here. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, okay, nothing will ever match up to the aggressiveness of MKX Sub-Zero, okay? But we don't talk about that anymore.
We might have started an argument in chat. They might be continuing this conversation.
Yeah, possibly. I'm sorry to everybody who has to deal with that. But, yeah, and right so far, I mean, this is a really dominant match. And just staggering, continuing the pressure, staying safe, getting a little bit more chip. Oh, holding it for so long.
You're going to draw us a picture of a hat.
Yeah, you can just feel this. Oh my god, it finally did actually anti-air. You can see how good Cenas is at using that hat. That is actually kind of ridiculous. I mean, already this is looking like a completely different match than the Payne versus Jinks match to me.
I don't think I've ever seen this Buzzsaw hat used in this way. And it's so strange, because every time you see Buzzsaw, it's, you know, throw it out, create a situation, be kind of overbearing with it. Whereas it's just the sheer control of where the hat is going. It's really interesting stuff for me. However, Jinks is immediately answering this one back, a trade. That is going to push Jinks back to a safe range. We can get a little bit of trades on deck. That damage on the floor is still better. Jinks isn't going to want to let it go. Why move away and allow you to move out of the damage? But now, Pan's going to be forced to do so. Forward 1 confirm, and no meter. Jinks just use a leap.
Oh, and the Oki with the hat into the hatless
Atlas
too. That looks so funny. It looks like he thinks he's still holding a hat, but he's not. But hey, it hit, and that was actually confusing looking, and that was...
Oh my god!
Dominant. Yeah, that was good. Cenas very good at this matchup, clearly.
I'm starting to realize how Cenas has become so successful in such a short space of time. For those that might have been, maybe you've just joined us, Chef had mentioned earlier that Cenas, a player that you had heard of before, but not really seen in action, but you'd seen some good results against other players in Mexico that are really, really, really good, and we've seen them do super well. That intrigued me straight away because I'm like, we see these players crush it pretty much every time, and if someone's rocking up that is able to do very well against them, this is a very, very distinct character change. The reason for it is because Spawn is one of the best characters at dealing with the Buzzsaw hat.
Yeah, the one size fits all solution for everything is Spawn standing 3, right?
He can do standing 3.
That works too. Right.
The tech really is, I believe, if you do standing 3-4 into his back forward 2 cape charge, he will absorb the hat, and actually by absorbing the hat will allow the crushing blow to come out. So that's a very, very important piece of knowledge here. No doubt why Jinks has picked this character.
Yeah, also just going to play out a little bit better in this full screen game. Now, the projectile trades here are not, oh my gosh, good usage of interactable. I think Jinks expected that Cenas was going to be playing a little bit more patient, a little bit more zoning, but it was like, no, forget that. You're in the corner. Now I want to pressure. There it is, exactly. At the very minimum, I mean, that was a really good trade. But, jumped over the standing 3. That's so rare. It's one of the best anti-airs in the game.
Lovely, flawless block as well. Get out of my airspace. Unfortunately, Jinks does not have meter to extend that. But what I was going to say is that just because we can look at this on paper and say, look, the Spawn pick is almost extremely likely because of that one answer towards Buzzsaw, there is the element of Cenas knows that, and no doubt has had to fight spawns in response to his character before, so it's not like he's going to make this easy. He's not going to do a flowchart. He's using less Buzzsaw, and if he is using it, he's using it more on block at the moment rather than just letting it rip.
Yeah, honestly, the ability to know when is a good time and a bad time to use the Buzzsaw is one of, I think, Cenas' greatest strengths. It's actually been kind of ridiculous. There haven't been almost a single one that's been like jumped over or punished or effectively dealt with, except for in the pressure. Oh my gosh, look at that! The down 3 check and then the pressure. Oh, this is disgusting, actually. But okay, speaking of disgusting, spawn damage.
Oh yeah, but what I was saying is, so Cenas knows that Jinks is doing 3-4 in response, so it's doing dash in, down 3, low profile it. Oh my lord, this is a specialist, I tell you what.
I know. You know, wait, soul sacrifice. Wait, no, that's not what it's called. Soul forfeit. There we go. I always get those mixed up. This might be death. This actually is death, probably, right?
Oh,
yeah,
now
just
it
go
will.
straight in the fatal blow. I wonder if there was a way to do that without spinning that bar, but I also couldn't see the defensive bar because of the crushing blow. So, let's see. Or maybe we won't see. It's taking forever. There was no defensive bar.
However, by using soul forfeit, look at the meters.
Yeah.
There's a reason Spawn players tend to use it on a round where you really have nothing else to lose. That was used in response because Jinks had to do something. However, the payoff is that now this round is going to be significantly harder. We are going to get heavily reduced combo damage. That should have been over 40, but it won't be because of the soul forfeit.
Yeah, you can do the double charge of the down 2. It's such a clean combo. It's such a huge hits. But now, yeah, the damage is really a little bit scarier for Lau. Ooh, that had to have been an input error. And this is going to be
still
a
got
nice
that.
crushing blow. Yup. Oh, 1 bar is all you need for that. But yeah, breakaway is going to be good. Ooh, the cancel. No defensive bar now. That's pretty scary.
Ooh.
One opening could be death.
And that's the answer. But it was used. Soul forfeit used it already. Soul forfeit used it already.
Oh no! Oh no! Are you kidding me?
That is so
the weirdest
sad.
situation I've ever seen in my entire life. You use soul forfeit in round 2, and then you lose the crushing blow that would have won you the game because you specifically chose this character to counterpick a specific situation with Lau. That is the most specific thing I've ever heard of in my entire life, but that is actually hilarious in its own way. Definitely tragic because that was a really beautiful counter, but again, Cenas finding that perfect moment at the end to make the comeback with the perfect conversion into the fatal blow. It's not easy to use that Kung Lao fatal blow either, though, and we've seen him use it a lot in very, very good moments to make comebacks, so I think this is just so impressive. I do think, though, that the spawn pick was working pretty well.
The Spawn pick was 10 times better than the Jackie, purely by just information alone. However, there is definitely now this other end of going straight back into the Jackie. These 2 games that we've played, maybe there's been a bit more time to kind of just get a feel for how Cenas is now approaching the matchup. Maybe you were a bit uncomfortable first. Now that one game, although you're using a different character, some of these habits, perhaps. Not that I've been able to spot any. I think Cenas' mix-ups have been absolutely phenomenal. He's been playing incredibly smart. and able to take a game against someone that specifically tried to counterpick this variation, right? So clearly, really good stuff. And oh no, the drop!
Oh yeah, that's rough. Really needed that. But oh, okay, here we go. This is gonna be huge damage. We got a lot of weird whiffs and drops going on at the start of this game. The pressure's really on, I think.
Ooh, defensive play. Oh, that must have felt good to land that dash punch. Get that buzzsaw out of here.
All right, big damage here. Honestly, the knockdown from Buzzsaw in a juggle is kind of ridiculous. It's like plus 40 or something like that.
Yeah, double-digit plus frames. It's fantastically good for just keeping that pressure going. And it's really fast, so it's super good to end combos with too, even at the very end.
Yep. Oh, great tech. Okay, pressure's now on. And oh, was that a... Wait, what? Was that a flawless block? That was a punish. I don't actually know exactly what happened right there, but it looked like a walk-up flawless block on the hat and then a punish. That was pretty cool.
That walk-up looked extremely deliberate to me.
Yeah.
KB as well. This is kind of
right,
what I was saying. I think that Jinks, there's just a bit more comfort here, more overwhelming pressure. No breaker available here, so this is going to be just here. 37%, and then plus frames. Almost.
Oh, we were really looking for that, but look at this, 2 combos and it's almost over. Strike throw. What? I mean, that forward one must have just been too early, right? That's the only thing I can figure. Yeah.
Had to have been.
And why wake up forward 2-2? I don't understand exactly that option, but hey, you know what? It worked. That's all that matters. Jinks made the right read right there. You look at it, just mashed it over and over. Like, yep, this is how I won. But nice, getting on the board. Yeah, that was bizarre, I want to say. That was a really weird option. I'm not sure if that was trying to bait, like, I don't know what that was trying to bait, honestly. I don't know what the wake up forward 2-2 was going for, but it worked.
My thought process was perhaps one thing Kung Lao players really love to do is like a really meaty neutral jump on an opponent's wake up, especially from Buzzsaw because it has so much plus frames. So maybe the idea there was that I assume that you're going to jump on my wake up, and if you do, the forward 2 will catch you. The forward one whiffing, as weird as it looked, I mean, that move comes out so quick, and it actually isn't active for very long. So it literally must have just been an old-fashioned did it too early situation.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it would have worked clearly because the 4-2 came out and that would have been game. But you can really see this is another part of the matchup that I think is probably really scary for Jackie that I didn't mention when I was talking about it earlier, is that you can see how much damage Lau can effectively get against Jackie because Jackie's using her defensive bar. And so we saw 2 combos, and that was nearly literally death. Like, that was literally all it took. And then one more mix, which was just strike throw. And it was a correct guess, just the incorrect timing. So that was almost it. However, Jinks getting on the board, I think, is a really good thing. Wow. Just do it.
No throw tech here as well. Jinks with loads of help to work with, goes for the riskier maneuvers. I think also just to make you flinch, get uncomfortable. Opens up a lot of buttons if your opponent starts trying to preemptively tech. Lovely anti-air. That down one was crispy, and we spend the extra bar too. I mean, we need everything we can get right now.
Yeah, this player is so good, honestly. This is like watching a top player that we've watched for like months, but this is the first time we've ever seen them. This is sick.
Oh yeah, thoroughly impressed.
Not another anti-air this time, but didn't have any meter after that to get the full conversion, so this is pretty close to still like one hit for either player, especially if Cenas decides to cash out on that fatal blow.
Very important that Jinks has the life lead here, though, by getting those flawless blocks on the Buzzsaw. At some point, I think Cenas is going to do something risky here to maybe try and steal it back, because there's not much time left, but Jinks has all the time in the world, especially if he's going to be flawless blocking all of this. Oh, especially now.
Oh, super delayed grab. And now this is close. This is so close. Short hop grab. Empty short hop grab. One more mix. What's it going to be? Oh, the hat didn't go the right way. The hat got eliminated. It didn't get set out in time, and the blast hit the startup frames. Wow. That was actually, believe it or not, that was like a few frames away from that being an actual just guaranteed win for Cenas.
And yeah, a little bit of a trade though. That damage over time almost equalized the damage that we saw. The down 3, short hop. Ooh, not sure about that one. Either way, there's the pickup, forcing the break, and now a clean confirms. Now Cenas pushes forward towards the corner. Forward throw unteched. And actually, to be fair, I think I might have seen an escape failed in round 1. So that forward tech not being teched is, I mean, to be fair, kind of important. You're going to generally want to tech the other direction for Kung Lao.
Oh, try to get the anti-air there, but okay, this is time to even up the damage. Oh, that dash punch whipping was a little bit strange. I'm not actually exactly sure why that happened, but you really needed that damage, and these trades, ooh, I like that. Knowing that he had advantage after that trade, oh, okay, this isn't going to be enough. This isn't going to be enough, but it's just one more mix-up away, one more league mix-up, and then Hijinks is going to even things up, and if Hijinks evens things up, I feel like that's just too much momentum, so this has to be a perfect read here from Cenas gets stuffed. The damage over time is too much, and that is the dash punch. I like it. I like it. That was such a smart way to do that. Honestly, teleport might have been the answer, but that would have been also too risky. Might have just been reacted to. And this is going to be all tied up now. After it was such a dominant set from Cenas, it's going to be down to 2-2 in a final game. So now the question is, how strong can you stay? You know, your morale. How strong can your morale stay when you're now suffering from potentially a reverse sweep?
One of the clear changes is that walk-up block, something that we didn't see from Jackie in that first game, and it's allowed for a punish 2 times in a row. I felt it in my bones that the first time we saw it in the corner that was way too deliberate to have been like, you know, a bit of an accident, and we just saw the immediate same situation again. So this is going to have to... Cenas got to put your thinking cap on. What do you do in this situation? Because it's looking so strong at first, and even having Hijinks go back to Jackie, we're kind of like, the Jackie was so ineffective in game 1. You're like, is it a good idea to go back here? Clearly, it was the choice to make because we're on the verge of that final matchup here. This is what we like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love to see this, and it's so cool too, like you said, that we went back to the Jackie and saw it. I love that sort of commitment. Oh, wow. Should probably try to flawless block there and got hit. A lot of projectile trades here, and look at this. I think Hijinks is starting to realize that maybe projectiles can work better than previously realized against the hat. Nice, got underneath, and it's going to keep pressure for himself.
Straight up 50-50 on that throw direction, and these are trades that Hijinks will be happy to take. If the flawless block is possible, he'll do so. Other than that, we'll just go for some trades.
This game really slowed down a lot. And, you know, honestly, though, even though these flawless blocks are so good by Hijinks, it is still just damage on board. I mean, the damage is low, but the damage is there, and it's not like either one really had too much of an issue, you know, just, like, sitting there. So that's a little bit worrying. Ooh, didn't fully confirm that. That's the first time I think that we've seen a full hit that wasn't actually confirmed. Oh, always forget it's there.
Challenging on wake up too. Hijinks. Oh, that's it.
Maybe.
You have to retreat.
Falls.
Fatal blow.
Fatal blow. Just gotta do it. Oh,
it's
wait.
the only thing that would do it.
Wait. Hold on. We're wrong. Another throw. Oh my god. Is this comeback gonna actually happen? What's the wake up option? Oh, just back up hat. Yo, that was so good. Yo, that comeback was so good. That was basically a checkmate situation. And Cenas, I mean, the patience for like this young of a player is actually kind of unbelievable because that was beautiful. And now this is match point again for Cenas.
So much defense at the moment. Knowing the environment interaction's been used, all you have to do is fear regular old throws. The throw counter. Important to be able to get out of that one. Looks for a conversion. A little bit too mistimed on that one. But holding it even longer, not allowing the walk-up block to take place. We saw it. Hijinks tried it. Oh,
okay. No. More advantage. Oh, weird conversion. I like that. That was a really good recognition to just get that knockdown. And there's the throw. And it just needs like 2 more hits here. Oh my, back up out of the range of the fatal blow and then just throw a hat. Yo, that's disgusting. That was such a good game for Cenas. That is, everything about that game was unbelievable. The comeback into the dominance of the second round. And here we go, we get to choo-choo friendship again. And that's going to be our first player in the upper side of grand finals. And I got to say, well-deserved. Hijinks was playing really well, made some of the strongest adaptations I've ever seen, but there were just adaptations on the other side that perhaps he couldn't get around in time. I do think, though, that if they do end up meeting in the grands again, that we're just going to keep seeing the adaptation just continue to like move forward, and it could really go either direction. But I do have to say, in that final game, that was 100% Cenas, like just totally in Hijinks' head. The Oki walk back into hat is probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
And it was just the evolution of the set. My favorite thing about these like longer situations that players are in, because You can see on paper the Spawn was a good idea, especially after the disastrous Game 1. Spawn didn't quite work out. I think it was a series of unfortunate events that caused that to be the case. Going back in for the Jackie, and yeah, this was the moment. Normally, with the regular old matchup, that crushing blows, but because Jinks had already soul forfeited and used that KB, obviously you cannot get 2 of the same game, so that was just really unfortunate. Changing to Jackie worked so close, but so far. But that does make me interested to see that if we see Jinks make it into Grand Finals, defeating whoever makes it into Losers Finals after this next set, we could see that evolution continue still, Chef. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, the next matchup is going to be Payne FZ versus Jetring. So, because Payne defeated Akira 2-1 off stream.
Ooh.
So we're going to see that one in our top 4.
Yeah, so this, what you're saying is today is just an entire day of Kung Lao's. Today is Kung Lao Day for sure.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, literally probably over like half of our matches today have had Kung Lao in it. But hey, you know, it's good to see, honestly, Kung Lao, especially Buzzsaw Lao, is a very fun character to watch. But I'm really interested to see how this one plays out, because I do believe also that Joker has some really good options against the Buzzsaw. You know, characters that have normals that can potentially get through Buzzsaw, or specials that can go pretty far and have disjointed hurt boxes, do tend to have some of the better options. Even potentially like leaping over it with the Boing command leap could be really good. I actually have no idea how this goes. You know, like I said, for some reason that I just cannot wrap my head around, there are not a lot of Joker players left, and Jetring just happens to be one of them. So I'm really excited to see if there's tech known against Buzzsaw.
If anyone has it, I'm sure Jetring does. That's one thing I'm very, very confident of. At the same time, you're right. It's been the day of Kung Lao. As you can see at the bottom of your screens here, you can get involved in the Twitch chat. We have a poll going for who you think's going to win. And it looks like so far Jetring is the favored player. I'm going to go out on a limb and agree with the chat for once in my life. I think that there's a really good chance here, and you said it yourself, it comes down to character-specific tech. Not that it matters, because Payne has gone in for Kotal Khan. I was going to say, before we jump in, this is the final 2 out of 3 of the night. Losers Finals is whoever wins this matchup moves on to fight Jinks. But up until that point, this is going to be 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you know, I did mention it before, but I think it's really respectable to try this out. Clearly, this is a character that Payne is really actually trying to pick up. And even though it didn't work out very well in the first set of the day, I do really think this is the perfect time to try out stuff like this. And we'll see, you know, maybe it'll work better against the Joker. Who knows?
Looks like already off to a bit of a better start here, as we see the clean catch already.
Oh, and another punish off the bat. Yeah, this is already considerably better than anything that we've seen before.
That's guaranteed.
The down four. Yep. I still like to call it the Aztec. Nobody likes it more than that. Oh, all right. But the full conversion.
Kotal Khan does have a little bit of extra health here versus the fact that Joker has 950, so there's going to be a little bit of a divide between that damage so far. Deploying and flawless block. That's going to be a confirmed. Payne FZ. So, I know that the gamer tag is SRiu Payne. I'm really sorry. I'm just so used to actually saying Payne FZ.
No,
I shall adapt.
I do think actually Payne FZ is the tag, and SRiu is like a team, and then there's actually another team that Payne is on, so it becomes very confusing. But regardless, yeah. Payne, if you have a way you want us to say your name, please let us know. It's only been, you know, years at this point. But yes. I know. But hey, you know what? This round is going way better for Jetring. This is very one-sided. Oh my gosh, interrupting it? Yo, that was Jetring was super ready for that. The down 4 into unblockable not gonna work this time. And now the corner positioning. Joker, infamously one of the strongest corner characters in the game.
Significant display of risk versus reward going for that down 4. Oh my lord, that forward 1 confirmed, super clean. Just in case you break, try to be careful with it. That jump kick Gonna get SRiu Payne safely out the corner. Back to that mid screen, but who has the advantage here? Hard to say. Oh, that's gonna get rid of the heal.
Well, I can tell you now. Can I answer that question after the crushing blow?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a little bit slightly an advantage with Jetring. Moved to, took about half-life, but oh my gosh. I mean, you're gonna heal in this. You can see actually this is actually a lot of healing, but still just a lot of damage. Imagine having combos that are long enough to outlast Sunbeam. That's Joker privilege right there. And look at this, life is just melting away.
Oh my lord, that clean neutral jump. Okay, here we go. Jetring able to take that first game, and remember, 2 out of 3 territory. The final series to have that, so only one more to go, and they'll be moving on to fight Jinks in a run back.
Yeah, is this... Wait, no, is this a run back for both of them? I'm trying to remember...
Yeah, they fought in round 1, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the bracket.
Yes. Yeah, so both of these players lost to Jinks, and neither of them, I think, had a chance to like play pretty much anybody else. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess they couldn't have lost to anybody else. So that's pretty interesting. We usually see that in grants, right? Where like the losers or the lower bracket finals match is like 2 people who've lost to the person who's waiting in grants. But this time it's the 2 lower semi matches, or the 2 players in the lower semi match are waiting to get their rematch against the person in lower bracket finals. It's very strange. It's like everything shifted down one place. But okay, here we go. We're actually going to see the Cabal. Okay, this is, I think we've seen the Cabal from Payne before.
But how effective it will be, I'm not sure. This is a unbelievably common character these days, and one that Jetring's going to be super prepared for. So unless Payne is going to be able to essentially kind of just overwhelm with rather generic Cabal things, I'm not sure. Either way, lovely start though. Already using the amplified straight buzzsaw, not something we see used all that often, so a good way to begin.
Oh, rolled right past the projectile into a full combo, and no defensive bar is going to mean a lot of damage. Yeah, oh my, was that a punish? Was that super smart? Was that like a very intentional matchup knowledge thing to break away at that exact moment? I don't actually know, but it certainly looked like it could have been.
What an overwhelming start. There's a clean confirm. Hang on a minute though, Chef. This whole sequence cost Payne FC a lot of meter, and there's now nothing. Oh my god, is Fatal Blow going to come back? I think it is.
Yeah, the cash out. Oh my gosh, is that gonna be enough? That was an absolutely disgusting set of like I guess like resets there. It wasn't really resets, just mix-ups. So like it was just 3 straight combos all in a row, all beautifully executed that led into something else, and it worked perfectly with the cooldown of the Fatal Blow. That was like something you'd put together in like a combo video, but that just happened in a real match.
Well, they'll be feeling great about it because it's put them straight on to match point, ending it with that knockdown. Good damage, good pushback. Oh, ending the boing a little bit early, just trying to bait out that movement. Didn't go in for the OS on that jump in though, so I do wonder about that. Payne could have got a full combo there. There was no breaker there for Jetring.
Ooh, nice down 2. Yeah, that down 2 is so good. It's so fast for being like an extended weapon down 2. And yeah, the crushing blow. I honestly don't even remember what the crushing blow requirement is for that. I see it so rarely.
I only ever see it when it beats a roll normally. Might be counter hit related.
Yeah, probably.
Shoutouts to the knowledgeable commentators that Chef and I are, of course.
Listen, I know a lot of the crushing blows, but some of them you just rarely see, and oh my gosh, the down 2, inescapable, even with the breakaway, and that was a very quick set. Honestly, not only was that like that moment of the 3 huge combos in a row to basically get 100% damage, huge, and in the fact that it was just impressive, and he's gonna pump you up, but also, like, it was a really good round for Payne, right? That was a really good round for Payne that suddenly just turned around and just became a loss, which is super, super rough, but very impressive from Jetring. And Payne, playing well the entire day. Again, I have to say, I do appreciate the attempt to play the Kotal all day, and I like the idea of, you lose once and you switch, but then something like this can happen where even a close second game can still end up being a loss, and you can go home. But, I mean, congratulations still getting 4th with that. And Jetring, who we both said at the start of the day that we were both excited to see, has now moved up into the top 3 for their rematch with Jinks.
And a rematch it certainly will be, Chef. When rematches happen, they always get so exciting because, what's going to be the difference? Is there going to be a difference? We know it's going to be the same characters. It would be unreal for either of them to randomly change from their mains. And other than that, this top 3 is decided. We've got 1 Mexico, 2 states. So we'll see how this one ends up unfolding as. Who of the 2 of these players do you think has a better chance against Elbow Cenas? That's what I'm curious about, because I personally would think Jinks in the run back, but I believe Jetring hasn't played them yet. So is that a dynamic that we're looking at?
Yeah, again, we didn't actually get to see this, see the matchup in that previous game, in the previous set, but I do think the Joker has a lot of options that he can use against the buzzsaw pressure, so it's really hard to say. But yeah, with the fact that Jinks almost made that amazing 3-game reverse sweep, it's hard for me to not say that Jinks would be the better bet. But yeah, it's just impossible to say. And I'll say the better person is the one who earns it. I think the one who wants it more right now. But this should be a good match, a rematch from earlier, and it was pretty good on both sides. But we'll see if it's any different, especially now that we are in the lower bracket finals. We are moving to a 3 out of 5 once again. So there's a lot of time for both players to adapt.
There's also time for things to maybe go on the one-sided end of things. And if you 3-0 someone and loses finals, you are pumped and ready for that grand finals, I tell you what. However, let's see how this one unfolds. Jetring versus Jinks, a run back taking place. Looks to be exactly the same variation too, so we'll get the show on the road. Thank you all for joining us so much. This is our second to last series of the night. Whoever wins this moves on in the grand finals. They're going to have a lot more work to do, but it'll be a great victory.
Oh yeah, a lot of work for any player who wants to win still today. I don't think there are going to be any free matches. Even if a game looks free, it's going to be not. It's going to be hard fought. We do have a lot of very offensive characters here. Ooh, just sat there and waited and just knew the break was going to happen. No down 2 or anything. It's pretty interesting. But regardless, it works out. No defensive bar now. Gets the second opening, and this is, of course, massive damage.
And the pressure begins. Ready for the instant jump in too. It's Jetring, happy to just press that jump in and get what they need. And now the corner pressure begins, giving Jetring a phenomenal beginning here. Lots of damage. And importantly, screen space. That's what we want.
Yeah, being able to get out of this corner is going to be absolutely huge, but standing that little kind of far range back where the leap is not going to be able to get over you and you can still press buttons because you're a Joker is so important. The point blank obviously is going to work on pressure, but yeah, there we go. Right there, that could have been an anti-air, and oh nice, the double leap was a really good option to get out of the corner. Oh, just hits with the last hit and didn't dial in the grab. That was pretty interesting. Usually you see people kind of dial in that option because it doesn't come out even if it's blocked. So, oh my gosh, is that going to be it? Down 2? No, not quite. Just a little bit left and the anti-air. That was perfect. Jetring, I mean, again, this is a run back, right? Jinks knocked Jetring into the lower bracket, but this is not how it looked in that previous match.
Complete and utter control was the name of the game, and nice awareness of Jetring's opponent's lack of meter. They were holding pressure, holding the cancels, holding the shrapnel blast, and then the moment they chose to be bold with something and press a button, even though they got clipped when Jackie had no meter and had to go for a regular string on its own, which is nowhere near as punishing. So little details like that where Jackie can be a very, very oppressive character, but there's still certain circumstances where it's a little bit safer, you would say, to try and interrupt and answer back. So really good first match, potentially 4 more to go, but with how that first game goes, I mean, a couple more of those and we're already going into grand finals, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's, I mean, pretty much we've got all, I want to say we've got all very aggressive characters in this top 3, but honestly, the way that Elbow Cenas has been playing, there's a lot of, slowdown, especially against Jinks, so maybe I take that back. But right now, for sure, this matchup is going to be very aggressive, right? Both of these characters like to trap you in the corner and make you very sad. And right now, this grab, one of the biggest strengths about it is that it knocks you super far away, so you can either leap forward or just start the zoning.
It's the sheer height of it. Joker's really tall and holds his hand really high up in the air. I mean, very hard to jump away from that one. Kind of like Cyrax back in the day, the man-sized net that he throws at you. However, Jinks was, I would say, able to get something on deck, and Jet Ring, patience, the breakaway happens, but now another catch. In that case, though, Jinks does not really go into much without defensive meter. Might not have been able to go for a leap, I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. 2 rolls right there. But, hey, you know what? It worked. Is there any offensive bar? There is offensive bars looking to the wrong side. So a lot of damage, but still going to need to find one more big, solid opening. Even like a down 2 here is not going to quite be enough. Oh, they just looked at each other and missed. Oh, that's it. That's GG.
Oh, my God. That whip punish.
That was great. Yeah, and then, of course, just as you literally cannot break at that amount of life against Jackie. We talk about practical damage. That is just optimal. Ooh, didn't fully confirm that. Just went for the leap instead. Oh, and there it is again. We saw this interactable win a set earlier. For some reason, it's just the unblockable that's not actually unblockable at all. Ooh, that was unsafe. Ooh. Yeah, reversal punish. Yeah, wow. I can't believe how long that block stun lasted, but that was very unsafe. And this looks like this is probably going to be GG really soon here. I mean, we could see something amazing happen. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The leap in and the whiff punish and the combo. Oh, okay, hold on. We've seen it before. I am not going to say anything is over until it's over anymore. Oh no, another pickup. One more pickup and that's it.
Finish him.
What a way!
No, when you said pickup, did you mean pick up the tar carton?
Yeah, one more pickup. Yeah, one more pickup of the poor Tarkatan just sitting at the side of the fight that they just want to watch. You know, they're like, huh, what are these people doing? You know, they're not bugging you. They're not like yelling at you. They're just like chilling. And then you just have to be that rude and you just pick them up and you just chuck them like a projectile. But yes, that was a pretty funny way for that to end. It's very like Blanche ending, you know, MKX Blanche ending. They should have a brutal this one too. But I mean, good stuff, good patience there, because that actually was really close to a comeback. That was super close, but instead, we're all tied up.
This is what we expect to see. I'd be shocked if this didn't go to a game 5, to be honest. It's 2 players that are well respected with their respective characters. They do totally fine in online tournaments. You see them in this bracket and you're like, yeah, they're more than likely going to get top 3, both of them together. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So when they're both held at such high esteem, probably going to be a close series when they clash heads.
Yeah, it's I mean, it very well could not be a close series, but at least the gameplay I think is always going to be close, right? But just I think the nature of the characters they're playing, like one person can get run over even though they put up a really good fight. And right now, Jinks again taking the momentum. All the pressure that we saw from Jet Ring in the first game has kind of disappeared just because, you know, you're not the fastest normals. You got to create that space before anything gets started. And there was literally 0 space in that game. Literally 0.15 damage, whatever chip that was, and quick round. That was actually super smart.
We break as well.
Yep. Caught the breaker. Everything about that was really smart. Oh, again, the 3-3 whiffing. Ooh.
I'm actually surprised there was an escape fail there. You know, normally when someone jumps themselves into the corner, the entire objective is to throw you into there. Gives the illusion that they've put themselves in a bad situation. However, going in, and there's actually the 1-2-1. That was just lovely awareness there from Jet Ring.
Yeah, Jet Ring is I mean, of course, a character specialist, right? So is going to be ready for so many different weird situations. What is that? What was that? That was like, oh my god. That was like 4 empty jumps over into nothing, and then finally swings, and then just converts in a fatal blow for the game win. That is, I don't even know what to say about that. That was just silly, but it was perfect. It was the right read. I don't know who's like, yeah, I'm gonna empty jump over 4 times, and the 5th time, I'm gonna punch.
And I feel like you blink and miss it when Jinks plays Jackie, and just like that, here we go, straight into another matchup. And this is an outcome that I personally would quite like to see. The winners finals was so close, especially with the journey of going between characters, where it was Jackie and then it was Spawn, then it was back to Jackie, and it was this close to winning and it didn't quite. You just, how would the grand finals unfold after that? Like, I want to see that chapter have its next entry, you know?
Yeah, no, you do want to see, especially when it was that close. Like, it's hard not to want to see that. But again, you know, if Jetring wins too, then it'll be a very, very good story. Likewise, to have a new match in the grand finals. But I do agree. I think like having those really long sets is really cool, especially between players that don't get a chance to play each other all that often. Like when we have like, you know, like I don't know, Tweety Biohazard or something, or Tweety Hijinks in the long sets. It's like, you know, they'll probably get another chance to play against each other. But specifically with Hijinks and Cenas, it's like, okay, who knows when they can play again. So yeah, I do agree. I would love to see more of that. Oh, but not gonna get a chance if you keep getting anti-aired like that.
We just take all the damage we can. Good lord. Half the damage is already gone, Chef. Alarm bells start ringing.
And there was a breakaway there. So no defensive bar on top of it. And we're getting close to chip damage here. I don't know how much effort you want to expend here as Jetring, but okay, here we go. Quarter damage is going to be pretty huge. The raw standing 4 in those juggles adds a lot of damage. Look at that, 351. Oh, but that interactable in that corner is actually going to be really difficult to deal with. Oh, no punish.
Oh, that was definitely a standoff. I dare you to press a button. I dare you to cancel Fatal Blow and try and close in distance. Damage on the floor had other plans for that. Match point for Hijinks in 1 round. Hijinks will be getting that run back. Lovely. Oh, too far away. What a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it's so nice if it hits because it pulls you in, but yeah, if it's just barely out of range, it just feels bad. And right now, the chip damage, that was a lot of damage from, as you said earlier, the spicy floor. Oh my gosh, yeah, perfect. That is one of the only moves in the game that consistently punishes that. That dive punch or dash punch is still one of the best moves in the game, just in the fact that it can punish things that normally can't get punished. Wow, the wheelchair person was spared this time.
But I tell you who's not going to be spared at the looks of things. Jetring, big trouble.
Well, I don't know.
Leap.
Oh, that's it. Now I know. Now I know. I was going to say, though, you know, 1 hit away, and that could have been it. It was just literally just 1 hit because of the Fatal Blow cancel coming back up. But, yep, that is going to be that. Honestly, Jetring was looking so good at the start of that set, but Hijinks caught on and just never gave Jetring another chance. Still, congratulations on getting the top 3. And, I mean, I am still a huge fan of watching that Joker, but when the pressure's on, the pressure's on. What can you say? I mean, that Jackie... We know how good Hijinks Jackie is. That's not a question. But it's always impressive to see.
Especially when you look at a character like Jackie, who the longer a player kind of gets through a bracket, the more warmed up they tend to become. I think that's a very, very important thing to factor in. We've seen it with the likes of K-Top, for example. Ice Scorpion back in the day. Like, there were so many players that would use almost exclusively Jackie that they'd be kind of here or there at the beginning. Like, not every confirm would be on point, or maybe really the layers of pressure is what I really want to get into. Because when that tournament hits its later stages and now you're a bit more familiar with the people you've been playing against, especially when you're going up against people that you've played multiple times in the same top 8, it almost looks like an entirely different player. And I think we've been seeing that a lot from Hijinks, which is why I'm so excited for this grand finals, because is Hijinks going to go into this remotivated, all of that information locked in before we've even begun? We're going to see a reset, maybe even a tournament win. I'd like to see it, but Elbow Cenas, the story of the young blood chef, that's what this is all about.
Yeah. I say it constantly. I love seeing this, you know, players that we're not used to seeing, players from different regions, which tend to kind of go hand in hand, because it's not easy, especially to watch every single tournament, especially from other regions. But this is for sure a player that I think has impressed everybody throughout today, and if people are not as familiar with them, then they certainly will be after this. And regardless of whether or not Elbow Cenas manages to win this grand finals, like I said, definitely on the map of the broader audience after today, or at least should be if you're not a fool. But Hijinks, you know, on the other hand, just talking about Hijinks, one of the most, you know, storied players of the NRS scene, especially over the past few years, one of the biggest online like players that has just won so many tournaments or placed in so many tournaments. So to go from somebody who is, you know, or, like a matchup between somebody who's like not as well known to somebody who is extremely well known, and seeing them play against each other and be so close is so cool.
Well, as soon as we have the matchup good to go, we'll jump in and check it out. This is our final matchup of the day here. It's been a really good day already. We started things off with EU, very strong indeed. The unbelievable grand finals between Makaran and Mirko, with Makaran putting forward some of the absolute best Scarlet gameplay, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. The flawless blocks were really good. The conversions were in situations where you wouldn't even believe such damage could be done. If you haven't seen the European finals, make sure at some point you just check out the VOD. All the VODs can be found here on the PlayStation channels. But for now, grand finals, we were asking the questions of adaptation here, Chef. Is it going to happen?
And we are going to see, I guess it's a question we didn't really ask. We might have potentially seen the spawn again. I didn't expect it. I don't think most people expected it, but, you know, the possibility was there. However, we're not going to see it. We know now for sure that it will be the match that almost was the reverse sweep. Of course, I don't expect any sort of variation changes on either side. I don't think that we probably will see it for the rest of the day, or pretty much almost ever for Kung Lao's in particular. Actually, from both of these. So realistically, this is just going to come down to, like you've said a million times, who is going to adjust the best from the data that they have from the upper bracket finals. And right now, Cenas coming out strong.
I mean, you can say that again. A full combo and then a walk-up grab. Flawless block to start off, but doesn't manage to get the punish. Instant jump in. Kind of looks like, you know, if we're talking about shifting in gear, Cenas has already warmed up and prepared. Great defense so far as well. The 1-2 water shimmy.
A weird little grab whip right there. I don't think either player was ready for it. But, you know, you get another chance. Ooh, only a down one. And yeah, that was actually a punish. I think Jinks realized that it wasn't time for a punish. But the space is being built. And yeah, the flawless blocks that we've seen so often from Jinks on those projectiles, not going to work if you don't have the life lead. You got to move in eventually.
Trying to do some kind of challenge on Wake Up there. Just eating the fresh button by itself. Wake Up standing one and... oh dearie me, and a breaker. That is an unfortunate way to start this thing off.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, honestly, that was looking like a really good start from Cenas, but Jinks, interestingly enough, just starting to grab a lot. Hey, speak of it, that's like the 7th grab that we've seen in this game so far. Maybe starting to realize that, hey, hold on, this is a player that's going to block a lot and be really patient, and the grabs are going to start adding up in damage. Good patience. Yeah, see? Lots of blocking from Cenas, and sometimes it's possible to block too much. As much as patience is good, nice, big conversion.
Part of me thinks that maybe Jinks isn't too disappointed about that, though, because it's done so much damage. Yes, it has just given Cenas the fatal blow, but it has put him low enough that we are within the realms of unbreakable damage if a grounded hit actually takes place. Jinks looking for it, and that's it.
Oh, yeah. That is it. Just double down two, and Jinks starting off strong. And of course, you know, this is the grand finals. We explained it in EU, but I'll explain it again. For anybody who's not familiar with the double elimination system, Jinks has to win 2 3 out of 5 sets to win the tournament. Has to actually knock his opponent into lower bracket, and then out of the tournament. So it's going to be a tough road ahead, and then Cenas is going to only have to win 1 3 out of 5, so a lot less tough of a road, but against Jinks, I mean, it might as well be just as tough.
It's why I use the word momentum to describe things here for Jinks, because we've just been seeing Jinks go through opponent with a character who is very, very momentum heavy anyway. The Jinks Jackie that we're seeing in Game 1 of this Grand Finals isn't even comparable to Jinks' Jackie we saw in Game 1 of Winners Finals, and I think that constant set of matches and opponents has, in a huge part, been to thank for that. So Game 1's already done and dusted. We'll see if we can take it forward. If this is a 3-0 reset, I will be very concerned for Cenas, because where do you recover from that? You know, I'm just thinking hypothetical. Plenty more games to go, but that's a situation to think about for you and me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we have seen a lot of like 3-0 resets into the person who got reset winning, but also, again, this is a player we don't really know their full competitive experience. We don't know how much experience they have in these situations where like getting reset feels like a loss, or you know, being able to just stay strong mentally. It's very tough, and it's not something that you can just you know, practice. It's something that has to be learned with time. Right now, though, I mean, that was a pretty dominant start. Not looking bad for losing the first game.
Ooh, sure is forward one about here.
One path is
yeah, imagine Lao having another movement forward one. Definitely doesn't. Ooh, gets clipped. Good patience there, just to kind of delay that forward 1-2 from Jinks. Both characters just forward 1ing at each other. Ooh, tried to do the walk forward block, but it was safe this time.
Does seem so situational if it's going to result in a punish. So much awareness needs to be had. Always going to be worth it, I would think, in this situation. Obviously, they're still going to push forward with the forward 4, but this time the immediate turnaround. Breaking! Oh, I don't know about that, Chef.
Yeah, me neither. That might be a little bit of a sign of impatience. Honestly, we've talked about this before, but breaking against normal combos from Jackie is almost never worth it. Unless you're gonna, you're gonna die, and you need to just not die. Because you're like taking like 100 less damage, and you're giving her just as good Oki, basically. So it's a pretty tough spot, and then the next combo is gonna do more damage. But right now, Jinks looking so good right now, and yep, all the bombs in the corner. It's gonna be a really good option against the hats. And now the damage over time. How are you gonna avoid this?
Oh!
That's a funny way to move forward. You just slowly increase the damage over time on the ground. All right, I like the attempt. It was a good attempt, but not a whole lot you can do. Actually, having a special that moves that far forward that fast is a really, really good tool in that situation. If that had been a hit, that would have been a full combo, and it wouldn't have been death. So the checkmate was not exactly a checkmate. It was just a really hard to deal with check that ended up being a checkmate.
I mean, Chef, the engine's rolling now. That's kind of exactly what I had in the back of my mind. The moment we saw, even at the end of Winners Finals, when Jinks wasn't quite able to close it out, the progression of the matchup had been so severe for Jinks that I was always thinking, if they end up running it back in Grand Finals, where are we going to go from here? And we're kind of having what I feared might happen. The confidence is there, the familiarity with the variation that so many people struggle with, but Jinks has had so many games here that's enough time to get used to it and get comfortable with it. Not only the matchup, but how Cenas is actually playing the matchup, which is a very unique way of approaching the character. Mm-hmm. If we get a 3-0, we could very well have another 3-0. You have to have strong mental fortitude to recover from that.
Yeah, and honestly, that break near the end of that Jackie combo felt like one of the first, actual breaks, like
cracks in the armor.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little bit desperate and a little bit maybe not fully planned out. But, there's still plenty of time, right? There's also the chance that, we're going to see a reset and then we're going to be like, okay, hold on. Let's slow things down. Let's re-look at how we're gonna play this, and then Cenas makes like a comeback. Again, not playing badly at all, but oh my gosh, the down 2. Jinks just is on a roll. It's not like Cenas is playing badly. Jinks is just in some other zone right now.
Oh, damn it!
You're nothing.
And reset point. Reset point, Chef.
Quick reset point. Super quick. This is like faster than some of the 2 out of 3s that we've had today.
And with the way things are going, this is very dangerous stuff indeed. Straight up jumping out of the corner. It works, but oh god, the drop.
Oh, okay. Now the pressure's on. Jinks is at about half life, but okay, tries to get that walk-up block again. Definitely, Cenas is not getting punished by that anymore, but at the very minimum, Jinks is going to take back the pressure. Oh, forward one, conversion? No, really needed that, but gets another opportunity. Okay, I like this. The fight's back. Even if this is a reset now, at least it wasn't just like a total sweep reset. It does feel like there are some moments coming back, some signs of life.
Expecting a grab though. Jinks has been doing so many throws that now those mids and those buttons become so much more devastating. You're always going to have the throw in the back of your mind, and that's always where things start to get quite scary. Another one. That's what I mean. Yeah. It makes you unsure.
And honestly, with all the throws working so well before, oh, hold on. Right as I say that, the first tech that we've seen in kind of a long time.
He needs to jump. Yeah, he's jumping out to try and prevent standing in the damage over time as much as he can to jump back. Can't get it confirmed.
Wow. Still, that might have been a dash punch confirmed, but oh my gosh. Speaking of dash punch, everything I'm saying is coming true. Okay, this is still totally possible. There is not a lot of life for Jinks, especially because it's 950 health character. There's going to be a little bit chip on board, and the fatal blow is here for Cenas. This is potentially here. Oh, that was so good to delay it.
Nah, that's good for Jinks.
That might be GG. Oh, you literally can't let Hijinks do anything right here. You literally just have to, like, I don't know, make the right read. Oh, no. Tried to do landing jump 2, but it whiffed, and it gave Hijinks enough time. And you know what? We're all back to 0-0. We're all tied up for the first time here. These players are now both one set apiece in this tournament. I do, though, still feel like the end of that set, Cenas was really starting to come back into it.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. If that was super one-sided, a complete blowout, I think we'd both be sitting here right now being really worried. The fact that there was some fight left, even in the closing moments of that game, has made things a little bit more optimistic going into what is now officially going to be the one single final set of the night. A refresh, you said it yourself, they're now one set apiece here. Only one of these players is going to walk away with that first place prizing, so let's see who it's going to be. Cenas. Fight needed, and fight was given. We'll take that.
Yeah, I just really hope that they don't lose any sort of the momentum that they started gaining at the end of that set just because the reset happened. I hope that it kind of just continues on as like one long set in their mind because they just need to keep doing what they were doing. You know, they started teching the throws. They started dealing with the throws a little bit better. Their own mix-ups were landing a little bit more. It just came down to that really unfortunate timing. But, you know, it honestly might be for the best. Sometimes it's better to just get reset than to expend all of your energy and use all of your tricks and then get reset anyway and then not have any of that for the post-reset set. I know it's a weird thing to say, but it can be pretty bad. Speaking of pretty bad, that is not a good way to start. That is a lot of damage.
And a lot of chip to be done on top of it as well. In this case, Cenas starting to fight back a bit. The possessed hat. Haven't seen much of that in the last set, actually.
Yeah, every once in a while it comes out. Honestly, a lot of the Laos just don't even use it at all, so I do like the fact that Cenas does use it for those kind of safe pressure moments because it is very good on block. Not advantageous, but, you know, kind of resets that neutral that you want to be at. Ooh, and it does a lot of damage on hit, honestly. You can see right there, 126 if you do manage to land it. Okay, one more hit here, but Fatal Blow on board. I would have Fatal Blow through. Oh my gosh, down 4, and then the hat just hit. I don't know why the hat hit. I don't know what happened there. Maybe an attempt to flawless block?
Gotta tell you, Chef, the existence of that possessed hat has made the pressure game a little bit more significant. You can walk up. It makes you hesitate. You know, Hijinks is releasing block to walk up and then try and block the buzzsaw. The second the possessed hat has happened, it's been enough to just cause a mix-up there. Some kind of mind game. Oh, that's unfortunate. Eesh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, jumped over, but then just gets clipped again. I mean, honestly, though, getting out of that corner is pretty big because this looks like a pretty GG round anyway. Maybe I spoke too soon? Probably didn't speak too soon still. Yeah, I don't know what you can do here. Yeah, you don't even want to try to Fatal Blow through that, I think, at this point, because you just lose Fatal Blow because you just get killed anyway. So getting a little bit more space was probably the best thing that Cenas could have asked for there, and this is a great way to start off, of course. Maybe reading the breakaway there, using the jump kick. Ooh, swinging past each other and forcing the breakaway. That means the next hit is going to be huge. Air to air. One day we'll see that conversion.
Buttons all over the place from Cenas, but there's not much damage left to be done. I mean, maybe worth it. A bit risky to play. There's a confirm. That'll be the game. No, didn't have the meter. Wait, no, did have the meter. I'm so confused.
You cursed it. You cursed this really bad. Oh no, no more defensive bar. This is super scary. Oh no, no full conversion, but the grab in the damage over time. This is, I mean, oh my gosh. Oh, that was a cool slowdown. That was such a cool slowdown. You can see Jackie trying to dash punch past the hat, and honestly, that was crushing blow range. So if that dash punch had been like a few pixels forward, that would have been a crushing blow. The hat would have disappeared, and that might have been GG. So that was actually super close. But again, I'm very glad to see that this is not going to be a 6-game sweep.
It was clearly the idea as well, right? Dash in, get the dash punch frames before that buzzsaw actually comes out, even if it does appear or whatever it is, crushing blow will get rid of it. And it would have done enough damage. So worth the risk. However, in that case, stabilize things a little bit. Bring that confidence back to where it should be. Cenas, this is an impressive display. Again, just to remind everyone, I'm going to sort of refresh my data, just make sure I've got my information right. But yeah, Cenas, 18 years of age, really coming through as the new generation of Mortal Kombat player, especially seeing as there's a very strong scene in Mexico anyway. This is such an unbelievable performance for the first time we've ever seen them play. It's to be grand finals at least.
Yeah, at least, at the very minimum, and over so many strong players, and now, yeah, really trying to push that at least idea right now. Starting off very strong. There was a really unfortunate missed grab punish there, but ooh, the flawless block. We saw it a few times, but not so much against Jinks, so I really like to see that. Ooh, was that a grab? Was that I actually didn't know what that whiff animation was. It looked like an interactable or something? Can you do anything other than jump off of that?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just weird. It was a weird animation. Oh, and the safe pressure again. Just adding up the chip. Tried to grab. Okay, the grabs aren't working, but the flawless blocks are working perfectly. And yeah, I don't know how you're going to avoid this chip. That breakaway might not have been the move. Although, it did give one more opportunity. Oh, yeah, that's chip.
There was so much patience being shown there from Elbow Cenas because I think we were all looking after that fatal blow. You just don't want to get hit by that.
Fight.
Oh, not a good trade. Not a good trade. The normal buzzsaw does quite a lot of damage.
Done such a wonderful job of just slowing things down so far. That was no punish.
Yeah.
Maybe try to press a button there. Maybe try to jump out.
Looking sharp.
Yeah, that is, I think, a problem with a lot of the Lao players is they just want to go at 100% speed all the time, but being able to switch back and forth in pacing is such a huge boon. And Elbow Cenas is very good at it. Wow, catches the roll and then another grab. This just feels like so much momentum.
Oh, the delay, holding it until the last minute.
That's gonna hurt. Yep, one of the strongest grabs in the game, technically. Grab again. Oh, I felt it. I felt it in my bones. Everybody's just grabbing a lot right here. How do you avoid the chip out? That's the question. Oh, little hits here and there. Oh, that's gonna be bad before 1-2.
For this,
This has been a very good set so far, and there's still more matches to go. I think we've been blessed with the good fortune.
I can't believe we haven't seen either of these players throw out neutral fatal blows. Every Lao player and every Jackie player loves throwing out fatal blow at minus frames. It's just like their thing, and neither of these players is doing it. They're actually holding on to
I was about to say Elbow Cenas absolutely 1000% on a trampoline right now.
and about to be on a 2-0 lead if things continue this way. Yeesh. Okay,
Could afford to take that throw. Can definitely afford to take it.
Oh,
that could have been a dive kick.
Oh no,
Snap.
Yeah, we both saw it. That could have been that. Yeah, but look at this damage. Oh no. Don't get hit again. Don't get hit again. Oh, that's dumb. Why did I say it? Why did I say it? Why did I have to bring that into existence? I'm like, in all of these, I don't know, what, 8-9 games that we've seen from these players, none of them has thrown out a fatal blow in neutral. And then guess what we see for the very first time ever? Down one, fatal blow. I can't believe it finally happened and actually hit. And what a way to tie things up too. But I absolutely cursed that into existence.
I feel like we went so long without seeing it, the players got too comfortable. That's what it comes down to in those situations, that someone will go so long without doing something that you expect that the thought of it, it kind of goes from being all over your brain to you forget it's even there. But that is going to bring us to a 1-1. That was so close to being a good 2-0 too. Elbow Cenas. Jinks was able to get away with that one, but I'm just loving the change of pace and the change of control. But that's what's really... I still have got to say, I've never seen a buzzsaw used in this way before. So it's been a real blast kind of watching this develop as time goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also seeing what all the players, will attempt to do against it to answer it. And we've seen some really cool, unique answers. But I do got to say, too, as much as I said cursed it into existence, that was a really smart time to pull that out for the very first time in the entire day from Jinks, because I think Jinks kind of realized, like, if I lose this right here and I'm down 2-0, this is going to be nearly impossible to just get that reverse sweep again. I really need to tie things up here. And then he made his choice, and it was the one big risk, and it worked out perfectly. And now look at this, up a good amount of life in this game too. Just trying to keep things even, just even in your own mind is big.
We go back to that full screen where Cenas can do what he wants from this range, but it will be Jinks in control. Temporarily though, as it only takes a couple of hats to steal it away. Walk up grab. I wonder eventually is Jinks going to make that hard read and just release block after blocking a hat. We'll see.
Oh, the air to air. That was a good option. Managed to get rid of all the meter, but oh, there we go. We haven't seen that happen for a while. The full punish on the walk forward block, but didn't get as much damage as possible because of the breakaway. And now we're back down to basically fatal blow territory again. Probably don't even need it at this point. Nobody has defensive bar.
Oh, that's a reaction. You said it yourself. Jump back dive kick earlier today, and there it is.
Don't cut yourself.
Yep. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of it. It really is a really good option. I'm somebody who hates people jumping against me, so I practice every single like option in the universe against jump-ins. But jump back dive kick, it works. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh, okay. The breakaway. Still though, look at that. That was like half life.
Again, not able to get the punish. That's such a scary game to be playing. Worth the attempt though every time. Have to be worth it.
Ooh, oh, what the heck? Down one into like empty short hop. That was definitely not what was intended right there, but oh my gosh, the big crushing blow. Oh, this is such a close set. Honestly, every single moment is just so close. This is a really good set. I know we're only halfway through it, but I just have to say it. And look at this, the damage starting to add up. Oh, you can only block for so long. I like the attempt. It was a really good attempt to try to anti-air right there.
Damn.
You gotta make the read.
I almost feel like in that situation too, if that shrapnel blast was blocked, we were probably going to see a third one. I imagine Jinks would have gone all the way and played the ultimate risk.
Yeah, actually, I think so too. I would have loved to see what would have happened right there, but we actually haven't seen triple blast so far from Jinks today, so it's just one of those things you want to save for the right moment.
Okay,
Time things
especially
up.
with the risk that's involved. Oh, the delay. I love that, because if you were going to flawless block a poke or something, that was going to mess with the timing, because it was much slower.
Yeah, that might have actually been what happened. But now look at this. Cenas needs to find a way back without taking too much damage from the damage of time on the floor. These flawless blocks are not coming out. Cenas can just keep throwing these. Look at this. Yeah. Jinks is like, okay, hold on a minute. I got to do something here. I'm losing too much life for no reason. There's 40 seconds on the clock. You can honestly just try this forever. But the bar is building back for Jinks, so maybe Jinks is just happy to let that bar build back. Oh, the punish? Wow. Oh my god. Dive kick. Oh, chip. Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord. How?
Everything at the end of that was ridiculous. That was so fast, like 4 different interactions all in a row. We saw the projectile like wait and then punish the Jackie projectiles, and we saw the roll punished with the hat, and then we saw the instant dive kick in neutral, and then everything in a row. Like everything that happened there was all ridiculous. I literally can't even like remember them all in a row. That was a scramble. And the thing too was that was a slow match, right? It was like fighting, and then it was like, okay, we're just gonna wait to move in, and we're gonna wait, and we're gonna wait, and it was like 20 seconds of them waiting, and then suddenly like it's like if you like had a hose, right? But the hose like was like gameplay, and you just like pinch the hose, and then you let it go, and all the gameplay comes out all at once, you know? Or like it was like the game slowed down, and it was just like just sped through all the rest of the match. But that was sick.
We've been sitting here having a great time though, Chef.
Yes.
Believe it or not, we're reaching that critical point. We've only got a few more games left to go. Well, we've seen us being able to take the game in the fashion of which he just did. We've only got like 1 game left to go if he's going to take this. This is do or die for Jinks. A convincing bracket reset, but an immediate turnaround for Cenas after the reset. Here we go. Instant jumping.
Honestly, win or lose. Oh my gosh, I actually got through this time. That wasn't a punish. That was actually just a counter. So it looked like Jinks tried to throw it. I'm sorry, not Jinks. Cenas tried to throw it down 3, and Jinks actually counter hit it with a forward 3 because it's so fast. But here we go. Big damage on both sides, and now no defensive bar for Jinks. So this is going to be pretty scary. Oh, that is just working so well. That is working so well. You take it like a little bit of chip, but you just get all your pressure. And that is so hard to do, honestly. The walk forward block without accidentally just walking into it and getting hit like an idiot, which is what I do. That's my way of getting rid of hat. I'm like, yeah, I'll just take the hit. Oh, it looked like the blast hit it away. Oh, it was just a little bit too long. That anti-air, that anti-air into the full conversion. That was so good. That was so good. And that's going to easily be enough, of course. That would do way more damage than that. And so Jinks trying to stay in this. Fatal Blow gone very early in the set. Obviously worth it, but this is now no resources. So if Cenas can tie this up, that becomes a lot less scary. Wow, knew that breakaway was going to happen. Sheesh. Oh my gosh. Corner damage.
Amazing pickup though too. The possessed hat coming out to play for yet another time. That's going to be an easy confirm, and this is where we are rudely reminded how much damage Kung Lao can get against a 950 health character. Lovely flawless block. That's actually going to save Jinks from a considerable matchup damage, but not enough. Tournament point. Cenas. Is he going to be able to bring this all the way through? Dealing with the reset, fighting against like Jinks. This chef would be unbelievable. Oh my god.
Oh my, speaking of unbelievable, and there was no defensive bar on. Wow, that was genius. The defensive bar came back at the exact moment that Cenas did the dive kick. He was ready for that. He was actually looking at that meter so closely. That was actually genius. The breakaway didn't come, but the choice was amazing. And now look at this lead. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. One more.
Yeah, this is just dominant. These last 2 rounds have been too much, and we are on chip, and that is gonna be it. Cenas, I have to say, one of the most impressive showings that we've ever had from a newcomer here on the PlayStation tournaments, any of the PlayStation tournaments. That was ridiculous. I really cannot stress how amazing that last moment was. That like reading that there was potentially a breakaway at like 2/3 of the way through your combo, and even though it didn't happen, it was so smart. But those last 2 games were dominant. The last 2 rounds were dominant, and the fact that Cenas not only managed to just be so strong throughout the entire tournament, but be strong enough to not only not get phased by getting 3-0'd pre-reset, but actually come back stronger. Like, that's the sign of like a veteran player. That is just so impressive overall. And this is easily one of the best Kung Laos in general that I've ever seen, but especially this Buzzsaw. Clearly a Buzzsaw specialist. You said it before, I've never seen anybody use Buzzsaw this way.
Which is a very weird thing for us to say, isn't it? Because this, especially after Ultimate release, became quite a common variation, but there's just something about the level of freedom that Cenas seems to have with just holding the hat. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it other than just what every Buzzsaw player does, but there is something that we're seeing here that is just a little bit against the grain, and I think it is just how free-flowing he is with it.
Yeah, it's like that whole like trope of like, oh, your weapon has to be an extension of your body, but it's like that, but for the hat, right? Like the hat is really truly just like it's just part of the character, and I just haven't seen anybody so fluidly move it or just know exactly the perfect timings like that. Especially, yeah, just with movement and trying to bait anti-airs and trying to move it back and forward to like change the hit timings for flawless blocks or blocks and everything. It's just ridiculous. It's so strong. And on top of that, the ability to change from aggressive to defensive, everything about Cenas' playstyle, absolutely incredible. I am a gigantic fan after today, and now that we've seen a lot of players that we've not seen before on PlayStation tournaments, both in NA and Europe today, do so well, and this has been a really, really cool day of Mortal Kombat 11.
It has indeed. But when it comes to PlayStation tournaments, there's more shows where that came from. And it's not just Mortal Kombat 11. That's always what's exciting about this platform. Many games get their time to shine and different communities are highlighted. In this case, up next it will be Tekken 7, which you can find on the 20th of May. And then the 28th of May, you've got FIFA 22. So if any of these games tickle your fancy, jump in. Additionally, just look at compete.playstation.com, find out all the information that you need there, and it's pretty much good to go. But unfortunately, folks, I got to be the bearer of bad news. We're done for the night. But I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Sony and the PlayStation Tournaments crew for just continuing to support different communities for different games. Although we are starting to bit by bit see some offline events return, this online support has been so instrumental for so many players to be able to do what they love and just make their lives a little bit easier, And there's been so many tournaments on the PlayStation Tournaments format that for MK in particular, we've seen players have their single competitive journey progress through what PlayStation's been doing. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what it's all about. Thank you so much for joining me, Chef. Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much to the hard-working team behind the scenes, making all of it work out. You lovely people at home for watching. This has been PlayStation Tournaments Fight Nights. See you soon. Take care. Peace. Much love. And goodbye.
Stop.
PlayStation